been friends for a long time now. Always have a good time whenever we go out. But you've been calling me up all the time and sending me signs and giving me them eyes. And you've been saying that you found the one, texting me junk and you wanna talk, but you can't say why. I can't get there and you know I've tried. You know I don't wanna waste your time. City lights, I'm looking in your eyes, but I can't say why. It doesn't feel right to call you mine. You know I don't wanna waste your time. I can't get there and you know I've tried, but I can't say why. Feeling lost like I just want a time back time. I'm choked up, tell me how do I say this right? Cause you've been calling me up all the time and sending me signs and giving me them eyes. And you've been saying that you found the one, texting me drunk and you wanna talk, but you can't say why. I can't get there and you know I've tried. You know I don't wanna waste your time. City lights, I'm looking in your eyes, but I can't say why. It doesn't feel right to call you mine. You know I don't wanna waste your time. I can't get there and you know I've tried, but I can't say why. Get there and you know I've tried. You know I don't wanna waste your time. City lights, I'm looking in your eyes, but I can't say why. Doesn't feel right to call you mine. You know I don't wanna waste your time. I can't get there and you know I've tried, but I can't say why.
Pretend to like you. I hope you feel the same. I take a chance and not lose. I can't pretend to like you. It's just I never thought you were sitting next to me. I don't understand. It's just I never seen you smile. You wanna make out, give me a second. Cause I can't pretend to like you. I hope you feel the same. I take a chance and not lose. I can't pretend to like you. I can't pretend to like you. I hope you feel the same. I take a chance and not lose. I can't pretend to like you. To focus, it doesn't matter cause you live a lie. You want attention from every guy in the park, but when you call, give you my heart, you rip it out. I can't pretend to like you. I hope you feel the same. I take it pretend to like you. I can't pretend to like you. I hope you feel the same. I take a chance and not lose. I can't pretend to like you. I can't pretend to like you. I hope you feel the same. I take a chance and not lose. I can't pretend to like you.
Rising of the ashes, coming from the ether. All I hear is static. Breathe a little deeper. Fallen, broken, a million light years away from home.
Nice. Alright, go. Down first. Can. Alright, down already. Nexus. Okay. Nice! I'll see you in the game. Alright guys, let's go on board. Okay.
Lihat, tunggu Stewie. Boom! Wah, bakar bro! Pulapan lagi nyawa Nando dan into the infernal bomb dan Turi Solar Blade. Lu fokus pada seorang saja untuk matikan Bobo sudah jatuh. Engkol mega infernal bomb. Dia bisa melakukan. Sisi sekarang diperlahankan. Sisi akan menerima damage sangat ada kali Berjaya mendapatkan triple kill mencari yang keempat dan kuasa kill.
Hello, beautiful people, and welcome to the ESL Mobile Open Presents League of Legends Wildrift Sea Icon Series Malaysia Fall Season 2021. Before all of that, I'd like to introduce myself. I am a new face, I think, for most people here. My name is Lemonade, and I'm joined by the veteran Contra.
Well, of course, thank you very much for the warm welcome. I'm still going to be warming up my voice for a little bit because it's been a very, very dry sleep for me. The air conditioning's still pretty cold, but we are about to warm our seats with some really great games of Wild Rift, and it's definitely a pleasure to be casting alongside with you for the very first time. So, looking great as always. Eliminate, we definitely have a whole lot of great games ahead of us here, and we definitely have to thank Riot Games as well as ESL for providing us all the goodness here with the League of Legends Wild Rift. So I believe that we do have 3 sets of best of 3s to go to see who's going to be making it into the top 4 spots to qualify into the regular season of Sea Icon Series Malaysia.
Yep. Not to mention, we also have Maggie as our official tournament partners, and I think repeated this time after time. Maggie has been the savior for most of us gamers, and I have some Maggie at the back, just to commemorate this moment. Everybody loves some Maggie. Also, speaking about you having a little of a dry sleep, I think it's mostly because in yesterday's games, we saw these teams for the first time. So we got to see, what champions that they pull out the bag, and I think we're going into the first game. It's going to be the losers bracket, so it's not going to be a bit so unfamiliar. So we're going to see some of these teams once again.
That's right, and we're going to be looking at some of the teams that will be playing. First and foremost, we got 5 Cavalry, Arctic Fox, Assassin Academy, SDGR, Iblis, and over on the lower side, we have Splatzone Insomniacs, Axis Legends, Silent Killer, as well as TODAK. So quite a number of notable names, as well as a whole lot of new faces that has appeared to step up to the scene and challenge some of the best of Malaysia. And some of the teams that have possibly impressed me from yesterday was Arctic Fox, SDGR Iblis, as well as Splatzone Insomniacs. Yes, as much as Splatzone was the team that has qualified in the previous season, they are still showing why they are one of the best in Malaysia still. So I wonder who will be able to actually make it out, because it's a close call when it comes down to not only the winners bracket, the losers bracket as well, that I feel like we're in for some great surprise.
Yeah, taking a look at the formats right now, we'll be going into the first game, which is going to be 5 Cavalry versus TODAK. Just looking at it, we already see some of the teams that you mentioned stand out. We have SDGR Iblis, they're able to move forward, as well as Splatzone Insomniacs in the winners bracket of Group 1. Into Group 2, we have Silent Killer and Arctic Fox. These are the people and the names that you've mentioned earlier. These are the ones that will continue on into the winner bracket. As for the Group 2, the losers bracket will be X Legends and Assassins Academy. But noting this, that they have possibly went into the loser bracket, it doesn't mean that they're bad teams, right? It just means that maybe they need a little bit more of finding the foot in this competition.
Yeah, sometimes you just really have a little bit of a hiccup in between the games, or you just need maybe a warm-up game overall. So in the best of 3 format, you only need to get 2 wins off. If you drop one game, yeah, it may actually demoralize you, but that's the part and parcel of becoming a pro player, right? Once you get upset, you just really have to bounce back up like a trampoline. So, well, a human on the trampoline at least. So this is where I just really want to make some predictions here, like I've been looking at some of the games, and one of the best performance out there yesterday to me was Arctic Fox, because they were playing some of the cleanest League of Legends Wildrift for a while. And these are today's matches. And we start off, like you said, TODAK versus Cavalry here around 1 p.m. And later on, we got Axis Legends versus Assassins Academy. And last but not least, it's SDGR Iblis taking on Splatzone Insomniacs. You guys don't want to miss any of this match.
Yeah, let's talk about the first game that we'll be going into. It'll be TODAK versus 5 Cavalry. These are names that are not unfamiliar to us. I think TODAK, they're a really strong gaming brand that's been around, not just as esports teams, but I think also as a few esports gaming merchandises. So TODAK, they have such a big name, and coming into this, we do want to see them step it up, right? Especially with 5 Cavalry. I think both of these teams, they're humble beginnings, like you mentioned early on, was just the makings of an esports player. We want to see how they synergize and just get their groove back into action in this next round. Do you have any predictions, Contra, between these two teams?
Well, I'm hoping to actually see 3 games in particular instead of just a straight up 2-0 overall, because yesterday was everyone getting the fair share of 2-0s, and then on the shot and the stick, they don't walk away with anything. So hopefully 5 Cavalry has been able to review it. Same goes to TODAK. And now let's have a look at the roster that will be fielded for the likes of TODAK. Over on the Bower lane, it's Ame, Jungle, Newgate, and Skylo will be heading in towards the mid lane. And the bottom lane, we'll see both Kuro as well as Hazim. When we look into the playmaking potential of the team, it's all about Newgate going in for a setup alongside with Skylo, 2 stellar players that has been newly introduced into the TODAK roster, and I've been liking what I'm seeing so far.
Yeah, definitely. I've been watching some of the matches yesterday, and I did notice that Newgate, he really is the one that is the enabler for the rest of his team. He goes in and he really makes sure that Ame, he has a right hand, just provided to him at any time, making sure that these 2 players are able to make the positions and the spaces for the rest of their team.
Indeed, and now I really want to see, can they actually fare the better trade when it comes to meeting up with 5 Cavalry. 5 Cavalry, they like to play a little bit aggressive, but when it comes down to objectives, they just really have to work on it. And Aftershock was one of the key factors alongside with Zudo. Zudo hardly dropping a single death at all, where it goes into play things like the Ari or so, Mal on the ADC, we've got Aleph Mizal on the support role. So this is all that we have here for the roster, all being locked in. We don't expect any sort of swaps midway through the run. So we are going to be getting ourselves ready for the very first draft. Any sort of the predictions from you, or do you have any favorite champions that you really want to see in the Rift? heading into the first game?
Well, judging from these teams, well, prediction-wise, I am opening the table for anything goes, anything happens. I think we've been seeing some standardized picks from both the teams previously in the matches from both of these players and teams, and I just want to see maybe something a little bit more unorthodox. We did see a few different things yesterday, like the Pantheon. We did see from other teams. We did see stuff like the Tristana and stuff like these. They're just like out of the blue, right? Something that could work, but I'm not really familiarized in professional play. So I think with these teams, especially since they're rookie teams, I do want to see a few pocket picks that could maybe stir some of the Wildrift craziness.
Let's hop into the Maggie Hot Cup Champion Select, and hopefully we get those pocket picks out there. Now, first few bans is going to be Camille as well as Fiora. So TODAK now on the blue side with 5 Cavalry on the red. And it's a usual staple ban, right? Like, you don't really want to face off against any sort of split pushes. That's the reason why you don't want to see the Fiora as well as Camille in action. Now, what's interesting to me is that there is a ban on the Zayas, and I wonder what they are up to.
Yeah, exactly. I don't really see much of a Zaya ban. The Camille, the Fiora, this has been standardized. We've been seeing TODAK ban out the Fiora most of the times, and you just don't want that jungle presence. You don't want that grand challenge that could possibly just pop you with all that 4 vitals that goes off. Well, speaking of the picks, we do see a flex pick coming in for 5 Cavalry, Gragas being picked up by Aftershock, and then there goes the Kaisa locked in. So maybe the ban on the Zaya is just to make sure that Kaisa here is the upper hand as the marksman for the team.
That's right, and I think it's actually a great ban overall, where they remove 1 S tier. Excuse me, I'm apologizing for that. So that they actually open up the Gragas where I left off. So now you can actually flex pick this to any sort of lane while you have the Olaf now very likely to hit into a Baron lane. Now, I wonder if it's going to be the top lane Gragas, because he might just be suffering a couple of blows coming from those axes that Olaf's going to be pulling out.
It might be a top lane Gragas here. We do see Orianna getting picked up by Mal, but at the same time, I think Newgate might have heard us and listened to us saying that he is the enabler of the team, and he's going to go with that Lee Sin. And Lee Sin is generally a really strong pick, especially as the jungler in this current meta. Now we do see TODAK here filling out their roster. We have a Braum, Corki, Lee Sin, Olaf, and a Twisted Fate. And finally on 5 Cavalry, we do see a Graves getting picked up. So that is a bit interesting. What do you think about this overall composition, Contra?
Well, I haven't seen Graves in a while, and I'm kind of happy to actually see it as well, because Graves is always going to be having a very safe start in the jungle. No matter if there's going to be invades going on, he'll be able to actually outtrade it. But the problem about Graves is that heading into the late game, you essentially become a little bit of a slower ADC, where yes, you do offer a little damage here and there, but their damage is kind of capped at a certain point in time, and you have to also act like a semi-tank in a sort of sense, where it depends on the build that they will be bringing up. So just having a little bit of a good view of what these two teams really want to achieve. TODAK can opt to play very aggressively, looking for those early picks, and like I said, Newgate needing to actually set the tempo right for the entirety of TODAK to be able to march ahead. And here we go. It's going to be 3 games, I do believe, and it will be TODAK versus 5 Cavalry. And let's get the games going right here in the ESL Mobile Open, League of Legends Wildrift, Icon Series MY.
We already have skirmishes going around at the top side of the map. Armin here is going to get caught out a little bit of polymorph, but that's not going to be any action other than that. It is just a level 1 fight for the red buff. Ooh.
Oh, that's looking a little bit dicey there. Ami now dropping quite low, but they still really want to get the red buff. Did they get it though? Oh my goodness, they lost it over to the smite of Aha, and they have possibly botched the plan. So, it's all looking pretty decent at the very least from the way that they started. Now, this Lee Sin's gonna be a little bit behind, already soaking a tad bit of damage, and now needing a leash from the Braum. Meaning to say, this Braum's going to be pretty underleveled when he gets back to lane.
Yeah, and that's gonna put the disadvantage onto the side of TODAK. But I don't think that's gonna be much. Just noting at the when he goes back into lane, it's gonna be a Mal and Alif Mizal on the Lulu and the Kai'Sa. I don't think they're gonna make anything happen unless we do see a visit from Heiha.
Yeah, indeed. So Heiha probably is going to be securing the Rift Scholar in a real quick speed. So he's got himself a very good leash indeed. So there's no reason not to actually do so, as he can slowly work towards his blue buff eventually. Now Hazim, he doesn't seem to have a worry for himself at all. Seems to be having a craft-free lifesteal, going for wards instead of soaking in the EXP. Finally, level 2 on the Braum. I'm not too concerned.
Level 2 on the ROM, I think that's just the important milestone that they need to focus on. But at the same time, we do see Corky getting that level 4 priority. So this could just be something that they have up their sleeves just to make sure that they have it. But you know what? Level 2, that's not going to be enough because the rest of them, they know that he is under level and they're going to punish him for that.
Yeah, and I believe that Disgrace will be paying a visit right after getting the blue buff, or they can actually play aggressively for an invade if here comes a ward into the Tri-Brush, and the Concussive Blast will be able to land a blow. But nothing too substantial, but here comes Newgate though. He's going to be negating all these vision wards, and overall, there probably won't be any sort of gank coming anytime soon from the Graves, but it seems like the top side of the map, obviously something to blow. Oh my goodness, the bird comes out in time. And that's where we get the first blood going for TODAK.
I did not expect the 1v1 to happen, but speaking of yesterday's games, we did see Ame being the standout player and just using that barrier to his advantage, making sure that the Ignite doesn't execute him. It really shows that, it's a skill matchup, and Ame, he knows his skills, he's going to take that opportunity.
Indeed, and I truly think that, when it comes down to an Olaf versus Gragas, whenever the Olaf is low, you have to remember he's going to be dealing a whole lot more attack speed, so that's a big disadvantage. You don't really want to fully commit unless you got a full spell rotation, which I assume that the Gragas had to expend everything on the line to bring him down to that tick of a HP, and that barrier comes in handy when you have this sort of a play style that's going to be a little bit more aggressive coming in from Gragas. Now, going for round 2. Okay.
Round 2 indeed. I don't think we're going to be seeing much of that because Heiha and Skylar, they're going to meet each other in the riverside, and Ame, he's already turned around and trying to get him. He's going to go for it, but Heiha, he goes into safety just by the skin of his teeth.
Yeah, and Graves always having a little bit more mobility to work with. Now, they do get the Skull Crab over on the river at the very least, but they will have to contest for the first Drake, which is going to be in the form of Ocean. A little bit of pokes already landed over on corners there, trying to shut off the entry points for 5 Cavalry. 5 Cavalry does not want to be phased at all. Now here comes Skylo, now having a little bit more room to breathe. And Kuro drops in the package. Same goes to the rest of the members now, trying to actually land the stealing blow. The killer instinct won't be good enough for them to actually get the double kill with the collateral from Heiha.
That was so much that's going on at the same time. Mal over there, you can see that he just really went for it with the killer instinct. He got Dragon's Rage away, but that won't be enough because at least one person goes down, and that's the advantage and the dragon at the same time.
Yeah, I really do think that TODAK, at least, they made the right moves overall, and these 2 kills actually went in favor of the Graves. Yes, you can actually see at certain point of matches in your rank games where when the Graves is fed, then he becomes like a hyper carry from the jungle, but there's always going to be that sort of tipping point which I've mentioned early on where he won't be really offering all too big of a deal. Now, Black Cleaver already hands of the Graves after securing that 2 kills, but Hazim though, he's up to something.
Hazim, I think he's doing Hazim things, getting that vision, jumping into safety, and I think that's what he's prioritizing most of the time as a support. And it's good to see because, most of the time you do see laning phase being one of the more prioritized things, but vision is just as important.
Yes, it is, and with a little bit more vision setup, they completely negated potential gank. And here comes Newgate. He's already working on his blue buff, but the rest of 5 Cavalry, they're already heading on to Shelly. And Rift Herald now doesn't really want to get too little sleep. And that's where you go. You're going to put down once again, while 5 Cavalry will be able to actually unleash the Rift Herald eventually. Maybe perhaps they could drop it towards the mid lane and contest for the next upcoming Drake, while Ame gets a free turret over the bottom side.
Yeah, Ame, he's just gonna go for the split. He knows that it's gonna be difficult to deal with him, especially in a 1v1 situation. I think Aftershock, he is showing that respect. He's just gonna play at the back of the lane just to make sure that it doesn't get pushed in too much. Now, with the Rift Herald, where do you think they're gonna put it in the whole map?
Most likely in towards the top side of the map, if they can actually get a really good opening, or you could save it later on heading into its mid. So there's a couple of options out there. So if they really want to make sure that they get the best deal overall, you have one guy split pushing up top, and then
Lihat, tunggu Stevie. Boom! Wah!
But it's
The buy time.
after all. And I do think that 5 Cavalry, they're actually making the right decision, sacrificing this Gragas, and 5 Cavalry, they finally open up with the Rift Herald as we spoke of earlier on, and Ame can only watch. And I don't know, is this the right trade? Maybe it's just a little bit better for 5 Cavalry. And here comes Newgate as well. He lands a resonating strike, but Heiha goes into chase with the round straight, so he knocked him up in the air like a bowling ball, but that's good enough for TODAK.
That is good enough indeed, and this is going to push through at least to the second tier turret, but not enough to break it. And this is going to open up the map so much for them, and this will give them essentially the Baron lane priority. And now the only thing that's going to stop them is the other 2 turrets, but that's not going to be matter. And also we have 9 seconds in to the next Drake.
Yeah, and this is where 5 Cavalry has already been able to actually get a little bit more of an upper hand, controlling the entirety of the river. There's no vision set up overall, so this should be going pretty good, unless Newgate can just hop right in and smite it away with a very risky move. There is the package available for the Corki as well. Kuro moves right in. Here comes the package. Now the smite comes through. 5 Cavalry gets it, but they are standing on top of the package. Their health are burning low, while the rest of TODAK, they collapse upon Mal. And now only 2 remaining is going to be the bot laner alongside with Zudo. Well, I gotta say, Mal has already been burned up, so no bot laner. But there is the support just to hold on to this solid push coming overall. And Destiny gets popped up for a split push up top.
That was really good aside Crow. He knows he has a package he's gonna drop with the Valkyrie and just burn the rest of the teams on the side of 5 Cavalry. And you know what? They lost the Dragon, but I think that team fight just really put them into an even out situation. And they still have the 4K goal lead, so it's not too much of a worry for TODAK.
Yeah, I think that's actually a very beautiful fight. And finally, we see the fire burning inside of them. They know they must win no matter what. This is the lower brackets after all. They don't want to be crashing out yet again. Hazim, no, he's all alone being a human mort after all. But he's a Braum. He should be fine. And I guess the rest of TODAK, they just have to shove up the waves for a little bit, get a little bit more control, and 5 Cavalry should be pressurized for a little bit more.
And 5 Cavalry here, they're really trying to hold on to the objectives that they have. They know that if they don't do anything, they're just going to slowly lose out the game. They're going to try to force out the mid, but that's not going to be enough to siege it down. They just want this priority for the Baron, though. I don't think they want to hand it over to TODAK on a silver platter.
Yeah, and as much as there's 10 minutes on the clock right now, a Baron potential play can be made possible if they were to have every condition set straight. Oh, here comes Valkyrie, just trying to sidestep, clears off the wave, but Aftershock, he misses his explosive cast. This does not look all too good. Glacial Fisher will be able to actually knock Heiha up in the air, and with the Wild Grove, Newgate gets negated. And with that, That's gonna be Aleph is also surviving overall. Kuro now blowing one up, but he will fall nonetheless. And here comes Big Daddy Olaf coming in away, dropping in with the undertow. And Aftershock, he can only last for all too long. Body Slam does not really help him survive. And TODAK wins another trade.
Army at the right place at the right time just to flank and say hello to Mel, you're in the wrong bush. That is what really set the tone of the later half of that team fight, and just make sure that TODAK will be the one victorious out of that.
Yeah, and just look at TODAK. This is a very different from as compared to what we are seeing from yesterday, where it was more of a push and pull. Now, they got it swinging like Ami's axe, so TODAK now has all the advantage that they need, just having to teleport for the split pushes. 3-4's Death Dance already up online. Abe having one of the best games overall, alongside with Skylo on how well he actually uses his destiny. Either it's going to be a pickoff or even like a split push that we just saw early on. And that positioning coming in from Kuro, he has been able to deal quite a substantial amount of damage in that last team fight.
Yep, and these differentials between goal and just these little mechanics and decisions that they make, that's what's going to set them apart. Looks as though 5 Cavalry is not going to be taking a back seat here. They want to make sure that they can get a tempo, but we have the giant wall that's going to go in. Oh, might be a mistake though.
And this is where the case official comes right into effect, looking for Zuto, while Heiha tries to peel them all back. Skylo is in the way, but Skylo will be blown up to smithereens as well. Here comes Dragon's Rage, and he's swarming right by, but Lee Sin will not be able to survive. TODAK, they go in for a 2-for-1 exchange, but they were on the short end mistake. So 5 Cavalry, they're happy enough with that sort of performance. If they keep picking off TODAK just like this, I believe that they can actually punish the likes of TODAK heading in towards the late game, if ever the case.
Yeah, and we do have the dragon alive, so this is going to be the next objective that both the teams are going to set their sights on.
That's right, Heiha now getting a little bit of a head start, but he sees the dragon getting yoinked away. Dragon will go back to the Slumber State, but once again, getting startled, and the rest of TODAK will be coming right through. Skylo now with the gold card. That's going to be on the ground. It's not really the priority target. Now, health bar's dropping low. Lee Sin comes in. No steal coming into effect. Dragon's Rage available, but he will be able to swerve right by, put it back with the safeguard. Now, peeling backwards, this will be Hazim standing behind. And he's just going to be pulling up those shields, whatever necessary, with the split push coming from Abe. This is actually looking even better for TODAK. It's okay. Lose that Drake anyways. We don't need it. We're already having the upper hand with the 49k goal that we have. So, TODAK, they just really have to apply pressure on that open wound.
Yeah, they know if they're just going to leave him for a long time, Army, he's going to do something. But the rest of the team, they have something else to say about that.
Oh, that's one kill overall. 5 Cavalry managing to find an opening pick, and that's just going to be the Brum. But still, it may result into this Baron here, because 5 Cavalry now takes over, and now this is a little bit concerning to me.
It is concerning, and they see the opportunity. They're going to seize it. We do have Nugget hovering at the top side, but look at the rest of the members. They know they need to wall him away, but Olaf comes in.
Oh, what a collapse coming in from both angles, and this was the master plan coming in from TODAK. They managed to take down Aftershock and sandwich them, or even call it what you want. It looks like a burger with a patty smacked in between. But, you know, there was another special delivery, and Skylo kind of gave himself up, thinking that, okay, maybe I can stop the recalls, but joke's on you. There's about, like, what, 3-4 members of 5 Cavalry still intact?
Yep, and I think that is just a little bit of an underestimation, a little bit of a disrespect there, and that will be his life for it. At least the Baron doesn't go down, so now TODAK and 5 Cavalry, they're just going to wait and see who's going to overstep, who's going to make the mistake, and capitalize over that.
Yeah, and 5 Cavalry so far, at least they know what they need to do. They need to look for those picks, and if TODAK keep committing mistakes after mistakes, just like how we saw what the Braum did, or should I even talk about the TF? Because I pretend I didn't really see that destiny. That wasn't the destiny that he was fated to, you know, accept. But I guess he did it
He just picked the
anyways.
wrong card, man. He just picked the wrong card.
I guess so. I guess so. You know, one thing I really want to see is special skin, like a banker Twisted Fate. Either he's throwing cash or he's throwing credit cards. Like, Rito, you guys know the drill. New skins. That's what we want.
New skins, new phase of the game. 5 Cavalry finally breaking down that first tier turret at the mid lane that they've been doing so for the past 16 minutes. I think they got fed up of seeing that structure there and they just wanted to get it gone.
That's right. And Mouse is going to be able to work this one out. Ame should not be able to hold on for far too long, especially having the Lulu around. So just a few more auto attacks, but Ame is going to be trying to commit, and he definitely underestimated the power of the Kai'Sa at this state of the game. And the package has already been dropped over the top side of the map. He'll be able to actually steal away the rate buff, and Zudo can only get a little bit of vision done by just popping in ball into the bush.
Yeah, TODAK here, they know they want to make the space at the Baron lane and the mid lane just because they want their priority over the river to secure that objective. 5 Cavalry, they're all going to recuperate and just hover around. I think they're going to play with the stick please, you know, kind of comments where they're, you know, going around together, making sure that no one goes out alone. And that's been overall working in their favor. And if TODAK does a misstep, such as this Skylo here, he does get out and it doesn't seem to result in any deaths. That this is enough for TODAK.
You know, what's concerning to me is that they are kind of getting away with whatever lead that they have, and then afterwards drop the ball. Now here comes the big collapse as we have them chasing over Aleph Midzel. He'll be able to wall rope away Newgate now in a very sticky situation. He does have the GA available while Ame goes in for the chase. How much more can he take? This Olaf's dropping low. He's gonna go down for a killing spree on Heiha, and this is where the advantage is given to the side of 5 Cavalry. Now, Hellfire's dropping low. Mal needs to actually peel right back. Here comes the biggest glacial official over their lives. But here, he goes in for the collateral as well. With only one member remaining, Mal goes in with Killer Instinct after that. And now they're looking to actually shred off the health bars of this Elder Drake. Nuke is still going to be around. Is it going to be a steal? He might actually give his life up for this. Last goal available. Now here comes the connection. Now, can he actually steal it away? Yes, he will. TODAK still gets in the back. Turn golden, but how long can they last? They get aced out. How much time can they buy? 10 seconds later on, Ame's going to be coming out, but is it going to be enough against 5 Cavalry?
That was just so good on the side of 5 Cavalry. They're going to take their wins where they can. They lost the Dragon. Looks like they're going to start with the Baron right now. They know that the key players of TODAK, they're down, especially Newgate. That's just the green light to let them know, take this objective for free and get out of there quick. One thing I want to say is that Ame, he just really went for it and the rest of the team just couldn't follow up at the time that they needed.
Yeah, and after that sort of fight as well, 5 Cavalry, the good news for them is that they have already neutralized that goal deficit that they had, and we saw this is a really huge turnaround to neutralize it because it was like, what, more than 6k lead, and let's have a look at how Newgate managed to smite it away. He was trying to deal with the Gragas overall, and he just waited until he finds a little bit more angle to drop that Sonic Wave into place, and he gets himself a free buy at the very least. So 5 Cavalry, the good news is that they have the Baron buff and they can just try to play a little bit more aggressively to shove all these minions down the towers of TODAK.
Yep, exactly. I think we saw a lot of action just now. You know, a Dragon Steal, a lot of a bit of misplays here and there that just able to give 5 Cavalry that even out neutral position that they want to be in. And look, they are just pressing that tempo, making sure that they know you made this mistake and we're going to use it to our advantage. Newgate here does land a Sonic Wave, but it doesn't seem to connect. It looks as though TODAK is just going to play the defense as the second tier turret in the mid lane gets taken down.
And it's already pretty brittle, so I guess that letting it go was the wisest option overall. While there's also a split push going on from the bottom side. Here comes Destiny, though. I'm not too sure if he wants to appear anywhere on the map, but he will turn golden for the slightest a bit. The redemption coming out. No collateral coming in from the side of Heiha. While they all get pressurized by the Glacial Fisher. They're all standing on the line. But 5 Cavalry, they're taking too much blows. They have to back up. The only good thing that they have out of this scenario is that turret down bottom side.
And I think that is actually a pretty good situation to be in because, you know, you have that bottom side open up for them. It looks as though they're kind of overextending a little bit. I know they have the pressure and they want to push on it. They have the Guardian Angels available too, but I'll admit Mizao, he doesn't have one for himself. And Kuro, he sees his opportunity, but it seems as though Flash should be burned just to get him into safety.
That play could have been a little bit cleaner, not gonna lie, because Kuro, he's got a couple more missile barrage to actually use, but he didn't really understand, you know, how much damage output he could actually put out. So if he choose to Valkyrie forward then to Valkyrie sideways, then he could have actually gotten the kill on Aleph Pizza. But overall, I'm liking what I'm seeing. 17-12, how the tides have turned for the Swordfishes right here. But you know, they have the Elder Drake buff, which gives them like what, a very high percentage of AD as well as AP ratio increase, and overall it's the Elder Drake that gives you the true damage, so it stacks perfectly fine. And Ame is going to be a huge monster right now because of how well he has already been able to put all these items up online. I assume that the final item is going to be Guardian Angel, so if he does get the Guardian Angel, 5 Cavalry, they cannot even focus down on this Olaf.
Yeah, they can't focus down the Olaf at all, especially with the items that they have. It looks as though 5 Cavalry here, they're just gonna hover over at the Baron side river and just make sure that they get this priority. They know if they lose this out, it could be the end of the game for them. So they're gonna be holding their foot, making sure that nobody comes through.
Now getting a little bit of vision while the kick lands on the face of Graves. No commitment so far. A little bit of poke damage being done. No split pushes coming from the side of Falcon Cavalry as well, because they understand the importance of this Baron buff. And with this Baron power play, they should be able to break open the inhibitors. And TODAK now wants to actually look for the re-engagement. Now the health bar dropping low. This is the perfect opportunity. Here comes the package coming in from Kuro as well. He tries to actually stay in position. Newgate, he drops before he lands that Dragon's Rage. But this is where Ame shines the brightest. Well, the first one to fall is going to be Heiha. So 5 Cavalry, they need to run and they need to move real quick. Look at the perfect Dragon's Rage, getting all the members of 5 Cavalry. And this is where TODAK can just march right up ahead with the A's being brought out. And TODAK should be able to secure game 1.
That was a huge fight, and the fight that TODAK needed just to get back into their pace that they so happen to have early on in the game. Look at them, they're just gonna march right into the Nexus. They don't even need the minions. They have the team synergy, and that is TODAK's game. I can't believe it. 5 Cavalry, they seem to have come back from that, but TODAK, they know, you know, that's enough is enough. I'm gonna put a stop to any possibilities of you guys coming back.
Well, I was left stunned because of that final Dragon's Rage. You know, every Lee Sin would like to start the fight with the Dragon's Rage. And we saw, he dropped from the GA and he came back up, he didn't immediately use it. And instead, that was the perfect scenario when everyone's health bars were low. I believe it was like the 3 to 4 man knockup, but we definitely have to check out the replays for all the spectacular plays that's been brought out by both 5 Cavalry as well as TODAK. This game has been so enjoyable that it went toe-to-toe. 17-17 on that scoreline, but it was pretty much Newgate, Ame, as well as Skylo really setting tempo right. Kuro has been in the right position to be able to get that lead for TODAK. Now, do you think that the Baron call was actually the best move that 5 Cavalry could have actually pulled out right there?
Not too sure about that, but I think in that situation, they really wanted to close the game. They didn't want to drag it any more longer. They knew they had a bit of an advantage over that, and they just banked into the chips on their team players being able to use their skill sets and their mechanics to their advantage. But unfortunately, we have Newgate that is going to say something about it. That Dragon's Rage is just chef's kiss, guys, chef's kiss.
Yep. Indeed. So we just got ourselves through game number 1, and wow, I'm still trying to digest all the things that happened because like there's so much back and forth going on, and I just felt that, you know, it leaves me wanting more. But we're just gonna be waiting for our next picks and banter to elaborate even further, because we will have game 2 underway pretty much shortly. So Adele, well, eliminate
Yeah.
in particular. So there, what do you think needs changing? Like, if it's coming from 5 Cavalry side, Teja's doing pretty well. The Orion's doing really well. I guess that it will take a little bit of theory crafting to do so.
Yeah, I think a bit of theory crafting. That 5 Cavalry really showed that that game was tight. That game was really close. It could have been anyone's game, really, up until that 21 minute, up until that Baron team fight. It was just really slight mistakes that really made the difference at the end of the day. And I think that's what I really love about Wildrift, right? The League of Legends in general. You know, all these really minuscule decisions, micro decisions that you make that will just change the whole pace of the game. So at least for 5 Cavalry, I think what needs to be changed over that, I think it's just mostly the pacing and the tempo that they're going with. Earlier onwards, they didn't know that they were in the back foot. They gave the respect that they wanted to give to TODAK. But at the end of the day, I think it was just really minor decisions. So I think anything can go in the next match. They could go with the same draft essentially. They could try to ban out Newgate's Lee Sins. But you know what? That doesn't matter because we're gonna see it coming in soon. We'll be moving into a break right now. So we'll see you guys shortly.
Lihat, tunggu TV. Boom! Wah, bakar bro! Ada kali Berjaya mendapatkan triple kill, mencari yang keempat dan kuasa kill.
Doesn't feel right to call you mine. You know I don't wanna waste your time. I can't get there and you know I've tried, but I can't say why. Feeling lost like I just wanna time back time. I'm choked up, tell me how do I say this right? Cause you've been calling me up all the time and sending me signs and giving me them eyes. And you've been saying that you found the one, texting me drunk and you wanna talk but you can't say why. I can't get there and you know I've tried. You know I don't wanna waste your time. City lights, I'm looking in your eyes, but I can't say why. Doesn't feel right to call you mine. You know I don't wanna waste your time. I can't get there and you know I've tried, but I can't say why. But I can't say why. Can't get there and you know I've tried. You know I don't wanna waste your time. City lights, I'm looking in your eyes, but I can't say why. Doesn't feel right to call you mine. You know I don't wanna waste your time. I can't get there and you know I've tried, but I can't say why.
Tunggu TV. Boom! Wah, bakar bro! Ada kali Berjaya mendapatkan triple kill menjadi yang keempat dan quadruple kill.
Welcome back, Summoners. My name is Contra. Alongside with me is my lovely co-caster, Eliminate. So, this is the ESL Mobile Open, presenting to you League of Legends Wildrift C Icon Series Malaysia, and it's the fall split for 2021 closed qualifiers. And wow, what a blast we had in game number 1. TODAK finally seeing the light at the end of the tunnel, and it was such a close battle for that Baron.
Yep, if you weren't awake before that match, you're certainly awake now because that was just action-packed straight off the bat at 1 p.m. on a beautiful Sunday. I think, you know, everybody just got their eyes set on the prize. It really came down to the last few minutes, the last few fights. And I think that was what really sets the tone of Wildrift. You know, you have all these things happening. It can be anybody's game. And this is especially evident between TODAK and 5 Cavalry.
That's right, and the 5 Cavalry, I think that they finally found a little bit of the answer to how to take on the likes of TODAK. You want to pick them one after another apart, and they successfully do so because Heiha was playing a magnificent Graves, and he snowballed out of control. So that final fight when Heiha was down, many of the damage output has been already negated, and finally TODAK finds the answer to put that final blow to the next. So heading towards game number 2, I wonder what other sort of junglers do we see, because Graves, after like what, maybe 3 months, finally I see this Graves really coming back into effect. So I'm a happy kid just seeing how they've been playing overall with something that's a little bit different when it comes down to style of play. So TODAK, they don't exactly look all too clean either, but Newgate is the guy to save the day. Newgate. I got a lot to talk about him, but I'll just hold myself back for now.
So speaking about Newgate, I think the side of 5 Cavalry, they are taking notice about this as well. So, you know, maybe we'll get to see the Lee Sin pick up from 5 Cavalry this time just to deny him of that. We did see Heiha on the Vi and Lee Sin yesterday, so it's not too out of question. It could be a possibility that they want to explore.
Indeed. So we definitely want to look at maybe a certain sort of pick or ban that might actually favor the likes of 5 Cavalry right now, because they had a couple of issues, right? Like you have the Olaf always running towards the back line, and then the Lee Sin always going to be a pesky threat. So maybe they want to actually switch out, take the Lee Sin, and I don't believe that it's going to be an exchange of the Graves. Probably Newgate will have something along the lines of maybe, you know, Ferrari in the jungle if it's being opened up, or even better, you have things like the Gragas or plethora of options, Camille if it's opened up as well. So we just have to see what sort of bans that they will go for, because a lot of all these predictions for me is only the red flag of the high ban ratios anyways.
Yeah, that's true. It seems as though, you know, in this current meta, in this current patch, we do have a lot of jungle bans, you know, and I think that's what really sets them apart. You know, all these jungles with their enabling skills, you know, you have Jarvan with the Cataclysm, you have Vi with the Assault and Battery, all these locking down skills, these are very detrimental, especially when you have your carries, like your marksmen, your mid laners going around that are going to dish out the damage. You do not want them to get locked down in any way. Nobody wants to be locked down. We don't want to be locked down, you know, definitely.
Indeed, like I really think that, you know, having a Cataclysm from Jarvan, if you actually bring it to the table, is going to be really great overall when it comes down to scaling and how you contribute. You have a lot of damage, and yeah, locking people down and make them, you know, be confined in this space that they don't want to. You know that they're going to pull some flashes if they need to.
That sounds a bit too relatable, at least for all of us. We don't want to be confined in any spaces at all. All right, so one thing I wanted to point out, actually, looking at the player list here, is at 5 Cavalry, right? So they are a Wildrift Esports team based in JB. So I'm not too sure what the situation is over there, but it's really nice to see different states of Malaysia participating, coming in as a group. And I just want to say, you know, thank you for coming in as a different state. And I heard that JB, you know, with the durian season and everything, they have the best stuff over there. I wish I could be there, but I can't. So 5 Cavalry, I think at the end of the day, whatever happens, you guys go open up a durian and have some good munch, you know?
somebody who possibly knows a good durian dealer or so, just go ahead, drop a like on Eliminate's Facebook page and tell her where exactly do you get the best Musang King available. But you know what's better than that? I haven't really got myself any sort of form of food, so I'm hungry for more Maggie Hot Cup later on. And speaking of Maggie Hot Cup, we got the Champion Select.
Yeah, champion select. We already have the Fiora ban, as mentioned earlier. This champion has been banned, I think, a majority of the time throughout this whole entire season. It's been 2 days, so we wouldn't know, but I suspect that she's going to be banned for quite a bit. And we also see the TF ban coming in this time. What do you think is the thought process behind that?
I think that Skylo has been taking too much information, and it does halt the likes of 5 Cavalry whenever they see, oh, Destiny, there's an eyeball up in my head. And like, should I be worried? Should I be doing this Dragon or Baron? So, getting a lot of all this information is going to be really important, especially Destiny. If it comes into to Assassinate, it's going to be real tough. But by banning out the TF, they left open the Ziggs, which is even a great deal, because majority of the time, Ziggs can just consistently deal damage throughout the entirety of the phase of the game, from early all the way to late. He just gets everything snowballing like just bouncing balls.
Bouncy balls indeed. We do have the Garen being picked up by Aftershock here. So now Garen got a little bit of a a semi-nerf in the recent patches. I'm not too much of a fan of the Garen pickup, but he is a overall strong and easy champion to play. All you need to do is just play in your lane. Yeah, and just spin around, spin the win, and basically be a nuisance to just disrupt the positioning of any team fight and go for that backline. Oh, but we might see a Darius pick here, and I think this is gonna be very exciting. It's the Noxian and the Marcian battle at its finest.
Yeah, and this is such a classic matchup, right? Like, who really has the brains and bronze to be able to actually overcome one another, and then like they'll try to slam each other with the Dash Injustice or even the Noxian Guillotine. But what's interesting to me is this Jinx. Kuro, are you a mad lad or what? But I see the idea, because the last time we saw that Jinx pop up in the Malaysian scene, it was brought forth by Sagi, and it's a good matchup against the Kai'Sa, but is he gonna be safe though? Because there's an Ari that I'm looking at, there's a Garen, and I saw a hover on the Vi, but now they will go into what's been working out well for them. Eha will lock in the Graves.
I think the ideation behind that is that if they have a Jinx, they're going to want to lock her and just burst it down. She is really squishy. She is a pure hyper carry, someone that is going to dish out a lot of damage, but it's going to be easily popped like a balloon at any single time. And I think that's why we have the Lulu as well, just to make sure that she has a bit of that survivability, a bit of shielding, a little bit of wild growth if you need to. But at least on the side of 5 Cavalry, it looks as though they have their eyes set on the assassins, and with all that mobility, they could just pick up anybody at the side of TODAK at any time.
Agreed. And overall, I just look at the ideation of TODAK. They just really want to babysit Kuro, right? Until like Jinx becomes a big girl from there, and she will be able to actually get a couple of pickoffs and then snowball out of control. It's more of a late game composition that they're trying to run. Meanwhile, 5 Cavalry, they will look for those chances. They will try to hit it when it hurts the most, but 5 Cavalry, do they still have the stamina to fight on? Because TODAK now is the one with the upper hand.
It's super interesting to see that Ame is on a Darius here. We did see Ame going super aggressive with the Olaf and just taking any opportunity he can, just run it at them. I don't think we'll be seeing anything different from that, because Darius, he is a monster. Once he gets those stacks, once he gets 1 kill, 2 kill, he's just gonna snowball out of control. But that is, of course, if that is what 5 Cavalry lets happen.
Yeah, and we start off here with a really aggressive play coming from their Rakan. Okay, don't overstep right now. Skylo almost getting punished. Thank goodness he has the satchel charge, so he should not be burning any flash or barrier, and he makes it out alive.
Makes it out alive indeed. And the rest of 5 Cavalry, look at the rotations they're already doing. They left Mao at the bottom lane. He's gonna have to play really safe. They know that with the Lulu support, with the Jinx, it's not gonna be very easy for them to just catch him off guard, even if they wanted to. And the Rakan just moving around, that just provides extra pressure on the side of TODAK.
Yeah, and this traditional matchup here that we talked about, the Masha versus Noxus. if there's an all-out war between the two, which region will win?
Which region will win? I think we did see a bit of this preview, but if you play League of Legends, we did see a few trailers and animations that Riot themselves produces out. I think one thing that really sets it apart is having a Galio. You know, if you watch the trailer before, that Galio on the side of Demacia, just that giant statue of Petricite, you know, could be the winning factor of the Noxians. And you know what? Oh, sorry, the Demacians, but you know what? The Demacians, I think this time around they're gonna just get themselves executed because it's the jargon that shuts down the garage. So I think a bit ironic, you know.
Betrayal.
Everything, yeah, betrayal. But everything
treason.
happens in Wildrift.
A huge treason here, coming from the Prince of Demacia himself. Anyways, you know, like I guess we're good. They're calling it a truce. You know, like Javan's on this Darius side. It's like, okay, I found myself the better brother to rely on. So TODAK, they got themselves that interesting first blood, and Newgate, he didn't really have to commit like a flash or so. Ame did though, so I guess it's a-okay because Aftershock, he has been left stirring like, okay, there's no way that I should be shoving this wave down the likes of this Darius right now.
Oh, it doesn't look like he learned his lesson because look at him. He's just gonna go at it with the Judgment Ame here. He knows he has that one assist, so maybe he's gonna use that to his advantage, and that will be enough. Ame, he picks up a kill for himself, a solo kill, and this is gonna set a 1,000 gold differential. And if you're a Darius, that money is huge.
That's right, and well, he's rolling in the back, and just look at Ame. He's going in for the phase rush build, meaning to say that every time he lands, you know, 3 rotations of auto attacks or even spells to begin with, he's just gonna be running at you, and there's really a hard counter to actually do anything against the likes of this Darius, because Ame, he's gonna be having that easy apprehend to really pull them backwards as well. So I don't know, we talk about the Garen not needing to push, but he's just shoving down the lines as if he's a cinch. But you know, what's done is done. We will have a little bit of scuffle over on the scuttle. It does run pretty well, but Newgate, he'll be knocked up in the air, and he might just be able to actually land him back and drag. Here comes Cataclysm. Look at him in place. What a setup coming from TODAK, and suddenly 5 Cavalry, they're running for their lives, and look at the amount of flash being burned. That's 4 flashes in that split second.
That was a really good Cataclysm. They had the right idea over that 5 Cavalry just to collapse on the 2 people isolated at the side of the river, but no, that's where the job is going to flag and drag come in, and this is going to secure them this Cloud Drake without any problems. And I think the one thing here that I have to point out is that how will 5 Cavalry respond? Because they did have the TODAK did get the top lane pressure, the Baron lane pressure, and now they have the Dragon. This is looking a bit too comfortable for them.
Yeah, and overall, I love how clean TODAK is playing right now with their form of rotation. They got the Drake, they got a little bit of a Sumsbolt, almost picking up those kills. Now 5 Cavalry responds. They want themselves a turret to go in for the exchange, and they should be able to actually stash a little bit of gold. Only 2,000 of a difference right now. The first key item is already up online for majority of the players out there. Goggles don't play for the Rakan, so that you can still more damage. A lot of BF swords though, so BF sword, you know, I don't know what to call it. Some people call it big fat sword. Some ladies like to call it boyfriend sword.
Yeah.
I guess that you're one of them.
Okay, thanks for the stereotyping, but yeah.
I'm sorry. Didn't mean to go that way.
Well, as a marksman player myself, you know, boyfriend swords is the sword that we all love, but Kuro is in a place he doesn't love to be in. The wild card will keep him alive, and he's gonna run into safety. Has him just right at the right place at the right time to keep his marksman alive, but hey, he's gonna go for it. The mobility, but I think he's just gonna run away, you know, a quick high and buy session.
Yeah, and I guess that's pretty good for the likes of the 2 of them. Now, a little bit of recall coming in, and Kuro, you know, the good thing about that Cataclysm is that it leaves a little bit of space for Kuro to just slide by. It's like, okay, I'm just gonna walk out of here by the corners of the jungle, and I'll be fine. Now, Hazim taking too much damage. You get now soaking a little bit more, but Aftershock, okay, he did manage to land his Smash Injustice, and now they will have a little bit of a bad trade overall, but they managed to neutralize it. Now, finally, they're working on the recovery. And it feels to me that, you know, this fights that they've been taking back-to-back, pokes after pokes, they didn't really get all too much out of, made me feel that it was already 15 minutes past the game.
It does feel like it's 15 minutes past the game, but it's certainly not. Mao is in a dangerous spot. He has to use his flash, picks up the Honeyfoot just for that sustain and stays alive. It was very interesting over there to see the Gavin trying to go for the Lulu, but unfortunately, it won't be enough because the Lulu just has some ability to run into safety. Speaking of the Garen, we're going to look at him right now, fighting against the likes of Ame.
Oh, overall, it seems like a little bit of a neutral standpoint right now. There's no objectives to be taken other than turrets. Oh, that blow up though, coming with the Super Mega Death Rocket, and I guess they cannot even try to avoid that. So this is where it gets a little bit tougher here. But Ame, what is he doing right there? He's trying to apprehend Zero, but will risk his life falling flat. So 5 Cavalry gets another free pick. TODAK getting a little bit sloppy here, not really seeing that momentum being carried out, but they are hoping to actually secure that turret over on the mid side here. They place a satchel charge, but there's not enough minutes to actually let them hit it a little bit harder for them to blow this turret down.
Looks as though it's a 1-for-1 situation. You have one person getting taken down, 5 Cavalry. You have one person taken down on the side of TODAK. This is just replies after replies. You know, if you want to take this person down, we're going to take one round with you at the same time. But we do notice that, you know, the Skylo and the crew having the Ziggs and that Jinx is just going to be immense sieging power just to make sure they can get those tier 1 turrets and open up the map from themselves. At the same time, we have the dragon that's going to spawn, so we might have a tussle coming out here anytime soon.
That's right. A little bit of a push and pull going on as the ocean has already spawned up. So I want to see Zuto whether he can actually land a good charm. Oh, there goes the apprehend as well, the promo belt. Now the Mega Different Bomb drops right in towards Heiha as well. Aftershock tries to actually fall back for a little bit more. Zuto now in trouble. Will have to dash over the wall with whatever he has. Aftershock goes down. GA still available for them. But look at the rest of the team. They're committing to the fight. Calculus dropping right in while the might of the master now goes in for the double dunk. It's a quarter kill for the Noxian. Instead, Ame now looking for the Damascene right there, as Aftershock is just going to be spinning his way off, so the Garen will be safe and sound. TODAK, overall, having the better of that team fight.
The better indeed, and that quadra kill, that sound over the Wildrift announcer, that's going to be the warning that 5 Cavalry has to heed. And I'm surprised they didn't really commit into the pentakill, because it'd be really nice to see a pentakill in the tournament, but the respect that he gave out, that's exactly the sportsmanship that you want to see. But Ame over that right positioning, the right skills to use at the right time really was what gave 5 Cavalry the back foot that they was stepping into. And look at 5 Ame, they know that he is strong and he is a beast to be reckoned with.
Yeah, and Ame now is going to be that unstoppable Darius, like you said, right? Like, you need a whole lot of commitment to be able to bring that Darius down. And while 5 Cavalry is going to be added, there's still Newgate, Skylo, and Kuro to worry about. But here comes the charm. They do land it on top of Hazim, though. And now Heiha will be blown up. And Kuro now gets activated. He gets excited as he runs past every member of 5 Cavalry. Pew, pew, pew. There goes the Rakan. And down he goes. A triple kill for Kuro with the kill experience. Well, they should be able to actually knock down the turret. Well, Ame is busy keeping Aftershock all too occupied.
This is looking too much like a solo queue game right now. We have, you know, quadras happening. We have kills after kills. The Jinx and the Darius. You know, this is something that I see similarly in my own games, and it's really just a small misstep. Heiha, that he dashed into the root of the Jinx, and Jinx was just able to kite him around and do the exact same thing around the rest of the team members and just, you know, get hype.
Yeah, and I can see how excited TODAK is right now because of how they managed to get those openings, especially towards Heiha. So now that they are pretty behind, but the problem is 5 Cavalry, although they are behind, they kept shoving right in for the fights. Like they want more. Like it feels like there's a little bit of masochism going on in Dr. Mundo. Are you doing a little bit of cosplay here? If you are, which champion are you at for 5 Cavalry? So for the likes of 5 Cavalry, there's still a little bit more room to breathe at the very least. So what they have to do is set a little bit of vision down, get a little bit more priority onto this Baron, and maybe they can contest later on.
Yeah, this is a bit similar actually to the first game, you know, and I think that's one thing that Five Cavalry does very well as well, is to capitalize on mistakes and get those objective steals. It's not totally out of the game yet, but TODAK, they're really having a pretty clean game here with the 10k differential in goal. Darius and the Jinx, they are the hyper carries. They are the ones that are the investments that TODAK has made, and it's coming into fruition. So look at that. Look at the aggression that they have. They are not afraid to make sure that people who step out, they get punished.
Yeah, and this is where Zuto absolutely lost all 3 charges of the Spirit Rush, so they will have to wait for the cooldown. But the good news is that she's got enough of the ability Haze to really bring the cooldowns pretty much low. So that will be another needlessly large reward being purchased by the likes of Zuto. I guess it will be for the upcoming Rebellion Staff Captain who hasn't had it already. So TODAK, they're just slowly pressing on, and they know that 5 Cavalry, they will march up ahead to try to lay their hands on the next objective. So they absolutely gatekeep them, and I guess that's where Newgate got its name from. I'm just assuming, guys.
Yeah.
Just assume.
Maybe so, maybe so. It looks like they are looking at the objective. Don't think 5 Cavalry here can come in time. But if they get caught up by Army, which is going to be happening right now, Super Bomb is going to come down. Cataclysm comes down. Army, he's at the back line, but he gets knocked up. That's going to force him to go back. The Wild Growth is going to make him bigger and better than anybody. Garen tried to go to the counter engage, but doesn't seem to find anything. Army is just going to push the rest of the team back, and no one can follow up, at least with the Garen coming in.
Wow, that was a very clean one, and TODAK also walked away with turret. Very easy takedown as he drops into the satchel charge. Skylow playing an overall great game alongside with Kuro, and we talked about this matchup, right? Kaisa versus Jinx. It takes a lot to get it enabled, and especially when you don't have a jungler, which is very much in your face when you have, you know, Graves, which usually comes in just to poke you down slightly ever so, and then maybe come up with a big bang of the collateral. So TODAK, they walk away with another Baron, not even having any sort of contest coming from 5 Cavalry. This is a little bit too much advantage being given over to TODAK, coming in with almost 12,000 gold.
Yep, and you can really see TODAK setting the tempo here because we have the Darius snowballing the earlier right. Now look at the amount of a heal cut that they have picked up for themselves. Mortar Reminder, the Thornmail, building into the Thornmail, the Execution is calling. These are just things in reply for the healing that Ame has. But at the same time, the other problem that is coming up slowly is the Jinx, which is really difficult to lock down, especially since we don't have any reliable stuns or roots coming in from 5 Cavalry. And this is going to be a real problem at the end of the day when she gets excited and she just goes around the whole entire team fight and kites around. Look at that. She's just gonna have 3 rockets. So that the sieging power on this team, it's crazy.
My oh my, it definitely is. And now 2 inhibs out a go, while 5 Cavalry, they're trying to defend to the best of their abilities, but how long can they actually hold on? Here comes the knockup, and the Rakan gets slayed immediately. Zudo is the next one to fall alongside with Heiha, make that an ace, and TODAK will advance forward to the lower bracket finals.
I did not expect the last team fight to be the last team fight at all, but that just really proves, you know, when you have that right draft, you have that sieging power and that Baron buff as well, it's gonna push you in really easily. It's gonna be super hard to juggle, and that it will be 5 Cavalry's demise. It is now 2-0, and TODAK will win this series.
Wow, the intensity in this matchup is pretty exciting, and just like the Jinx, right? Like, what on earth are we seeing at first? Because it went back and forth, and then suddenly, oh, TODAK has been winning all of these trades because they were a lot cleaner when it comes down to their priorities, their options on the table. They took every chance they got, and once Kuro really stepped up alongside with the rest of the members, I have to give a shout out to Hazim as well. This Lulu is playing a great game overall, keeping everybody alive and also making sure that there's no threat whatsoever coming from 5 Cavalry's end.
Yep, and now we're going to take a look at the analytics of it, the match results. Look at the Lulu with that 15 assists that you mentioned, you know. The Lulu here is really one of the strong players that is reacting so proactively to anybody that comes in and overstepping into his main carry, making sure, you know, Armin gets that wild growth just to knock them up, to make sure that we can lock them down, really enabling the rest of his carries to get and secure those kills. But we do see here Skylar as the MVP, which is, you know, maybe not one of the highlighting people who got most of the kills, but he, with the damage dealt, he really is one of the consistent players of TODAK.
Yeah, and interesting to also note, right? Hazim actually went in for Cure the Goddess. Was it really going to be Thimble Winter build or back towards the Sour's Embrace eventually? Of course, we did manage to get that up online, but overall, just look at the amount of damage that Ame as well as Kuro put up. It's almost even up, with Ame actually dealing even higher than the Jinx. And with the triple threat coming out, I guess that's where TODAK finally finds their winning game overall in this lower bracket. So congratulations to them. Unfortunately for 5 Cavalry, their last chance have already passed over on, and we hope to actually see them in the upcoming seasons overall. And great effort to qualify into the close qualifiers, but there's a long hurdle to go because this is just the start of it. Remember, train harder, guys. If you guys want to be an aspiring pro player, or you want to join the ranks of Berjaya Dragons, come on, climb the leaderboard, become a challenger if you need to be. Well, I'm definitely a little bit far away from that, but I don't mind. You guys know what you guys want to do.
I'm farther. I can tell you for sure. I am further away from that. But you know what? The same thing I want to say and bring it back to the first thing I ever said was that, you know, I love seeing these pocket picks coming out. Things that we don't really see in professional plays. We got to see the Graves. I think the Darius is a bit of a, you know, wild card. You know, some people take it, some people don't take it. And then we have the Jinx coming in. It's just a lot of stuff that I love seeing, all this excitement, and it really shows the personality of these players.
That's right. You know, I absolutely love the very first game that we witnessed. It was a lot of back and forth, although there were things that were a little bit questionable, but they managed to get out of the rut finally with a convincing 2-0 victory. So I guess that's all for the first set. We still have 2 more series to go, Adele. Well, Lemonade, I gotta get used to, you know, calling your IGN. So anyways, we will take a little bit of a breathing space here. This is the ESL Mobile Open Asia Pacific presenting to you the League of Legends Wildrift C Icon Series Malaysia. My name is Contra. This is Lemonade. We'll see you guys after a short break.
Nice. Alright, go. Down first. Can. Alright, down already. Nexus. Alright, okay. Nice! I'll see you in the game. Alright guys, let's go on board. Okay.
Lihat, tunggu Stevie. Boom! Wah, bakar bro! Mulapan lagi nyawa Nagel dan into the Infernal Boundary. Solar Blade. Fokus pada seorang saja untuk matikan. Bobo sudah jatuh. Engkol Mega Infernal Boundary. Dia bisa melakukan. Tizi sekarang diperlahankan. Tizi akan menerima damage. Ada kali Berjaya mendapatkan triple kill. Mencari yang keempat. Dan kuasa kill.
And nobody been sitting, none of my business. It ain't none of my business. You and I, we've been friends for a long time now. Always have a good time whenever we go out, but you've been calling me up all the time and sending sending me signs and giving me them eyes. And you've been saying that you found the one, texting me junk and you wanna talk, but you can't say why. I can't get there and you know I've tried. You know I don't wanna waste your time. City lights, I'm looking in your eyes, but I can't say why. Doesn't feel right to call you mine. You know I don't wanna waste your time. I can't get there and you know I've tried, but I can't say why. Feeling lost like I just want a time back time. I'm choked up, tell me how do I say this right? Cause you've been calling me up all the time and sending me signs and giving me them eyes. And you've been saying that you found the one, texting me drunk and you wanna talk, but you can't say why. I can't get there and you know I've tried. You know I don't wanna waste your time. City lights, I'm looking in your eyes, but I can't say why. Doesn't feel right to call you mine. You know I don't wanna waste your time. I can't get there and you know I've tried, but I can't say why. But I can't say why. I can't get there and you know I've tried. You know I don't wanna waste your time. City lights, I'm looking in your eyes, but I can't say why. Doesn't feel right to call you mine. You know I don't wanna waste your time. I can't get there and you know I've tried, but I can't say why. But I can't say
I've been with you for as long as I can remember, and you're still by me and held up my head. But it's getting hard to say that I am not a pretender. No, I don't wanna leave any words unsaid. Now I think that you hate me, and I'm driving you crazy. Wish I could stay forever, but maybe we're better when we're not together. I know that we have to let it go. I can see your eyes.
came to hit but never run. I would take on anyone. I got a feeling that it's just me.
Nice. Alright, go. Down first. Can. Alright, down already. Nexus. Alright, okay. Nice! I'll see you in the game. Alright guys, let's go on board. Okay.
Lihat, tunggu Stevie. Boom! Wah, bakar bro! Adakah Berjaya mendapatkan triple kill mencari yang keempat dan kuasa kill?
Welcome back everybody to the ESL Mobile Open Presents League of Legends Wildrift C-Icon Series Malaysia Fall Season 2021. A really lengthy name, but it has a ring to it, and I am Eliminate everybody, and I'm joined by lovely Contra.
Thank you very much, and you're looking lovely as well. And you know, I love the Timo hat that you have behind. And before we even start the show, you should be showing me like, all this different sort of sorting hat. You know, like it felt like we were going to Hogwarts School of Wizarding, but instead it's the world of League of Legends. And come on, let's see what you got. You have a
Okay, guys, show and tell time. I think this really shows the.
I'm kind of jealous. Yeah, it really
It
shows
looks like you, Contra.
Oh, does it? I just need a mustache. You know, if the Mustachio AJ was here, he would love to wear it. I am very
That's
sure
true.
of it. You know, like I guess he's been taking a little bit of a break, so don't worry. And that's your little hat. And I guess that's why Hazim's been winning some games, huh?
Yeah, definitely. I think. Oh man, this really proves how much of a League of Legends weeb I am. You know, just keeping a bunch of soft toy hats that I will probably never wear, but novelty's sake, right? Novelty's sake.
Don't worry. I mean, you can wear it any day of the week if you wanted to, since, you know, now it's the time to always get ourselves cheered up with, you know, any sort of passion of ours. And if your passion is playing League of Legends Wild Rift, you guys gotta take a shot at joining any sort of the tournaments made possible by Riot Games. And the C-Icon Series MY is the official platform to do so, to qualify to the regional tournaments as well. So, Eliminate, now we do have another matchup coming up. It's going to be Axis Legends versus Assassin Academy. Now, this is also another loser bracket match, so whoever gets defeated here will have to say goodbye to the tournament lives.
Yeah, this is gonna be really interesting to watch from both sides of the team. I did manage to catch a few of their games yesterday, and I think the main problem for both of the teams, at least, is just the getting out tempo, not being able to match some of the push. So it'll be really interesting to see Axis Legends against Assassin's Academy and see who is going to set the tempo this time. Well, moving on into the introduction of the members in Axis Legends, we have Tail Eater at the Baron lane, Aiden at the jungle, Fearless at the mid lane, Yuno as the marksman, and G-Top. G2? How do you pronounce this, Contra?
Oh, the last I remember was Jito OP. Like, it looks pretty interesting when you put it all caps, but you can call it Gito OP or G2P, whichever works, okay?
Yeah.
I guess there's that anyways, but I believe that we've seen some really good plays coming from Axis Legends, where they, in the 2 games that they have lost, they've shown convincingly that there is some stylistic plays that comes out from the jungle. Fearless, though, there's a couple of moves that I really hope that he plays a little bit more, not exactly passively, but he has to be a lot more decisive before opening up some of the fights, because he's been playing some of the TF, didn't really went well on his side. But here we go. It is Assassin Academy on the other end, and it's G-Ruler, Niles, Seki, Zen, as well as support No Flash to be fielded out throughout the Rift rivalry that we'll see against the likes of Axis Legends. So Assassin Academy, we've seen some really good potential. They do know how to play very aggressively, just like how their name speaks for itself. So I wonder when you put 2 and 2 together, what will the result be? I know you wanted to say 4, but we only got 3 games.
Yeah, so I'm just very interesting to see. I'm just really interested to see the draft that Axis Esports will come up with, because the one game that I managed to catch yesterday was the one where we see the Xin Zhao being pulled out, and I think that was the talk of the town in my Discord as I was watching it. I was like, why? How does the Xin Zhao work in this composition? And I think that's very interesting to see, especially for coming from a jungler. When we have all these jungler picks, it could be just one of those things where it's just like, you have this Fiora, you have this Gragas, you have this Jarvan, Lee Sin. I'm not gonna go with the rest of the wolves, and I'm gonna pick what I know, the Xin Zhao.
Oh yeah, like I think that we have to get rid of the Xin Zhao. It may not be the best option available. We've got enough Demacians over on the draft, but here comes Maggie High Cup Champion Select, so we'll have a look. I guess what you mentioned is true. We see another Demacian being locked away, and that's going to be the Fiora, the Grand Duelist, and they understand that Fearless likes to play on that TF, so that TF never really had a room, especially when we saw the likes of the team that took him on. They were running assassins just to make sure that he doesn't really get to play the game. Now, no Gragas up available, and one final ban should be the Camille. I think that they don't really want to give it over to the likes of Axis Esports, or else it'll just be running rampant on the Rift. But instead, they say, you know what? Open everything up on the gates, and we'll just be ready to take them all on.
I'm ready to see which jungler picks they pick off with that Vayne ban. A really unorthodox ban over there, but very interesting to see. And I think the one thing is that, these teams, they already know they're going to go up against each other, and they have the information from yesterday's games about who these players usually pick. And I think the Vayne could just be one of those lock picks that they're going to ban out, just to make sure that the marksman doesn't get it on the side of Axis Legends.
Yeah, indeed. And I really do like the Ari pickup as well. So far, you can play a double-edged sword kind of role where if you play it safe, you just farm up slowly, or if you really want to go aggressive, you move forward with the Spirit Rush, lands the Charm, and with that final kiss, maybe they will be able to actually get a whole lot of a good pick. Now, today seems to be a day of grapes, so I guess this is what he wants to be digging for the likes of Axis Legends, but it won't be all too straightforward, because Renekton is one of the most solid Baron laners that we can actually get currently in the latest patch.
Ooh, we do have the Corki getting picked up, and we do know we have the Ari, so it could possibly be a Corki at the Dragon lane. At the same time, the Varus is going to be selected on the side of Yuno here. Now, how do you think the Varus will fare in this current matchup?
I think it's not too bad overall. If anybody were to actually dive right in front of this Varus, or even the Darius he wants to make a run in, it will be very easy for him to land that chain of corruption, snare them all down, and that chain of snare can actually be spread out if they were to be clubbed up all together. And then if ever so slightly, you know that this is going to be a very heavy poke composition coming in from the side of Axis Legends, where you just want to keep those piercing arrows being sent in the way, and then you get upgraded with the blighted arrow on the second spell. So a lot of heavy poke when you pair it alongside the Ziggs.
I definitely agree on that, and I think that's something that Assassin Academy have to watch out for. But I think with all the mobility that they have, they want to get more of that presence around the map, just be able to put out on the wards that they need to try to play for picks, especially with the Assassin Mage. We have the Ari, we have the Graves who has that dash. We got to see how these teams play against each other, and I think it'll be very interesting to see, especially coming in from what we already know and what the teams already know, right?
Yeah, I definitely think this is going to be a great game overall. Let's head into the Rift as we will go in for our best of 3. It's Axis Esports on the blue side, and also Assassin Academy on red. So Axis Legends, we saw them actually going very aggressively yesterday, but there were times where they run around like hitless chickens as well. I hope that all of that has already been solved. So having a Ziggs, definitely a lot better than what a Twist of Fate could possibly pull up. So Ari versus Ziggs, you know, it's all about the poke wars going on. And speaking of which, that's one strike down for the likes of Seki.
Yeah, one strike down. You know, both of these champions, they have all this poked and the utilities available to them. But I don't think any of them are gonna go for a 1v1 kill, unless so you just manage to land all of your skills and go for the execute with your ultimate. But I think at the same time, what I want to highlight here is we have the Renekton and G-Ruler on Darius here. Now, Renekton is known to be the blame bully that he is. Look at that already, taking at least 20% of G-Ruler's HP. And this is funny because, you know, Darius is also known as the lane bully, right? So who do you think has the upper hand in that matchup, Contra?
Well, overall, I do prefer the Renekton because of how mobile he can just get in and out with the slice and dice. Now, unless if this visit coming in from the likes of the Grays would be able to actually make bigger differences, then it wouldn't be all too much of a hassle for the Renekton. So Tail Eater, he also brought in the barrier, so whenever that ignite comes in, he can actually soak a tad bit of damage, or even when it's a little bit tad too dangerous, if he takes too much of that hemorrhage passive coming in and he starts bleeding out, at least there is a slight lifeline before anything else, right? So overall, I think this Tail Leader is playing to his strength. Go in, get in, hitting hard, and just get out of that fight.
Yeah, and you know what? Look, the Darius already has to go and make that back. That's going to give some advantage. Axis Aidan here, he's going to be caught counter jungling, and he has to burn his flash just to get back into the lines of safety. It's very interesting to see, you know, the jungle pathing in Wildrift. It's a bit different from the ones in League of Legends, and obviously they're a bit more aggressive because the lanes and the map is just a bit more smaller. They have so much more presence that they need to establish on the map. You know, I think that's one thing that I really want to highlight, at least because this is something we don't see every day, at least in League of Legends PC.
Yeah, I absolutely agree with you. A little bit of a different tempo of play as well. And I was just looking at some of this vision while you're mentioning about, you know, the jungle pattern. I'm just looking through the jungle. Look at how well lit up both sides have been able to place their wards. And early on, with even the scuttle and a ward set in stone, it was like a crescent shape going on over the top right quadrant of the jungle. And here it comes. The moment I speak of it, it's Aidan now going for the pokes. And this is a Graves after all. You're not really going to be getting too much of a goodness out of it because making an info bomb. And that's first blood for Assassin Academy.
Aidan just caught in the wrong place, going a little bit too deep with that counter jungle. He does have that 1-1 potential. If it was just left between him and Niels, he would have gotten it. But no, the rest of the team, they are there to save their jungler and get that first blood kill.
Yeah, I think that was a little bit of overzealousness coming in from Aidan. It was a little bit too hopeful that he will be able to actually outfight the Grays, but he gets kited pretty heavily so, and definitely not really a good sight. So this is where Aidan is working on the Guardian Angel very, very early on. And, you know, I had a couple of discussions with some of the other casters while I was in Summer Super Cup, right? Like, is it the wisest of choice to actually go in for that early Guardian Angel? Because, like, many patches ago, they made the price to be slightly inflated. Won't really call it inflated. Okay, they increased the price of it, so it really reduced your efficiency when it comes down to providing yourself with added damage and everything else on the line.
I think the pickup on the Guardian Angel is just indicative of that the jungler here, they want to go for a bit more of aggressive dives and plays that they could go for, just making sure that they have that active available, the revive. And essentially, I think that's what Guardian Angel is best known for and what they pick, why they're picking it up for.
Indeed, and there's not going to be too much of that target hit list on that Lee Sin once he does have that up online. But for the likes of Assassin Academy, they're already starting things up, and here comes the big package.
The big package, the Glacial Fisher is going to drop down. Fearless is already at 25% HP. Niels is in a position he does not want to be if he gets taken down. That is just the objective for them. Axis is going to establish a presence in Riverside, but G-Ruler, he has something to say, but he flashes in, tries to go for that and takes one down at the same time. But Tail Eater with the ultimate is going to survive and take G-Ruler down with him. Now that is a fight that is going to be given with 2 people down and 1 man down on Assassin's Academy. Both sides are just
Wow.
respecting each other and just gonna say hello, goodbye, let's go back and recuperate.
Yeah, and they saw that, okay, this is too much damage. I don't really want to commit anymore. Now, they're pretty much shaken, not stirred. So only 1,000 of a goal difference or less between the two of them. So they haven't really had any sort of breaking point that says, okay, we must get this first streak of the game. They just buy a little bit more time, and even so, Rift Herald is already spawning up, so it's about 6 minutes in the game already. And the shove will come in effect from the likes of Jirula, but Jirula's got to be a little bit careful if the Lisa is going to be moving up top. But if he were to do so, there's a little bit of cause and effect to this because of the way that Assassin's Academy is prioritizing on the Dragon again. So this is where they will loiter around for slightly ever longer.
Yep, and especially having 2 major objectives alive on the map. This is something that I always see in Wildrift 2. You know, you give up one objective for the other. You know, like you said, gentleman's agreement on both sides. You know, just taking out one and then giving out the other. But I don't think any of them wants to give out anything at all. But it's pretty passive actually at this point in time. Looks like they are just going to be respectful about it, but I think Axis Legends, they're at the position where they want to secure this Mountain Drake.
Yeah, now they're getting all collapsed upon. Here comes the Glacial Fisher, and this was very well negated there. Splatzone Flash gets right in back to the position while the rest of Axis Legends, they're falling back, but Idan, he went in for the chase instead of trying to get the steal on. Support no Flash, making some of the big plays possible, and this Braum is absolutely insane. 4-1, Assassin Academy, they get the better deals, and well, they got what they bargained for.
Yep, they got what they bargained for, but I think X is that Idan just not being able to secure that steal and just getting picked off, just gave the indicator to Assassin Academy to take that the dragon for free, and you know that's gonna be the advantage onto the side of Assassin Academy, especially with that Mountain Drake.
Yeah, now it will be a lot more rotations coming into effect as well. So with this, I guess the priority target that the Axis Legends really have to prioritize right now has to be that Ari or Corky. But even if you want to get through that, there's always gonna be a smoke screen being put up. Niles right over front, and you can't really blind Elysian anymore, can you? Well,
well, in this game you
okay.
can.
Yeah, I guess. You know, like maybe this smoke screen has too much of a noise. That's why he gets disorientated. That's the only way to go about. All right, fair logic, I guess. And that's where the charm lands. Fearless gets caught out. Turns golden. Here comes the TP though. And that's where the range actually gets them locked up. Ari cannot really move all too much. He has to flash away. While Niles, he's now chasing for Yuno with a very good poke coming in from Tail Leader as well as Yuno. That's where they will be able to actually find the shutdown necessary. Axis Legend, they bite right back.
I really love the reaction that we get to see from both of the teams. I think Assassin Academy, that they looked like they had the upper hand, but the moment Axis Legends and the rest of his team, Tail Eater coming in, that was just the turning point for that team fight. And I think this is evident, at least from what I saw yesterday, and it's proving that both of these teams here, they are playing to catch any mistakes that the enemy team makes and fully capitalize on that.
Yeah, that's definitely what I've been seeing as a trend as well. And this is the way that I feel like Assassin Academy, they really didn't have any sort of business loitering around the top side. And yet again, they went in for such a pick in Axis Legends' own jungle. Yes, they did actually get 2, and they also managed to lose 2 themselves. But here comes the package though, and this is a very good catch on top of the big alligator Tail Eater. Hey, somehow it rhymes pretty well. Not only a kill went over the side of Assassin Academy, that's also the turret being taken off.
It's most probably going to be the tier 2 turret as well as the rest of blue team. They're not even around to protect it, but I think what they're going to go for is try to trade for the turrets. I think they realize though that having the tier 3 turret going down is not something they want at all, and they're already recalling.
Yeah, and for the very moment here, we have a Sterex Gauge already being purchased by the G-Ruler side. So AMG, they're already having a little bit of a disposition, but they are already setting up a deep dive. Turn still there. Chain of Corruption lands onto many of their members in Assassin Academy. They got a tail trails and run. And Tail Eater says, okay, you're talking about tails, right? I'm going to change the 9-tailed fox. And I'm going to let her loose.
Axis Island is still alive with the Guardian Angel, and I think that Ziggs just survived a little too long than what Assassin Academy expected, and that was enough to buy the time for Axis Legends and the rest of the teammates to come in and just collapse on them, and that was what really set that team into the result that we have right now.
Yeah, like I feel pretty iffy about that fight overall. You can just wait out for the minions, slowly get the turret. You don't have to really die for that Ziggs. He's got the satchel charge, guys. Like, it can knock you back and knock him up in the air, get him to safety. So, yeah, especially when you have status enchantment up available online. So it gets a little bit tougher. They have to really keep an eye on the timers. But speaking of timers here, it's time for the Infernal Drake.
Inferno Drake and the Baron are up, but I think they're gonna prioritize the Drake here. It looks as though the objectives are something that doesn't seem like an objective actually in this point in time in the game. They haven't gotten much. They didn't pick up the Herald, but we do see the Mountain Drake being picked up by Assassin Academy, so maybe they want to continue and pressure on and press the attack and pick up the Inferno for themselves. And Inferno Drake, it's a pretty big objective, right? You know, you want that added damage.
Definitely so. Now Assassin Academy gets free access, just like a virtual concert that we're looking at right now. Now gathering over the stage here, and that main stage is gonna be where our celebrity Drake is gonna be there. And then it might just be a snatch coming in, and Ida will be able to spite it away with beautiful Chain Corruption landing on top of all these members. Assassin Academy, they're all battered bruised. They're trying to run in this game, but Ida gets stunned up. Got the Guardian Angel in effect, so they don't really have to worry too much. 3 members down, and that's Tail Eater in exchange. He didn't manage to flash or even use the barrier overall, underestimating a little bit of damage with what can have become a cleaner take. You know, now missing that arrow, and they're looking to secure that mid-lane turret, but Fearless, she's got no mana. What you doing here, boy?
Go back home, Fearless. But at least from that fight alone, I think that was really good for Axis Legends, because they managed to capture the dragon. They managed to get some pickoffs, and it really seemed to be working into their favor. Assassin Academy now, they just have to recuperate and try to make sure that they can maintain the small little lead that they have, especially with the macro, because they have 4 turrets down. So that's the map priority given towards their side.
Yeah, and Assassin Academy, they just really have to be very wary of their surroundings. You know, like every single time they go in for all these sort of recall for the Drake, they were the ones who initiated it, and then you saw like a 50-50 split decision when it comes down to mindset. Half of them choose to fight, another half choose to, okay, I want to work on that dragon. And that's where Aiden, he just cheekily just moves into the pit, get the smite going down, and now speaking of a pick off there, it's gonna be Yuno. This is a pretty good going for the likes of Assassin Academy, and Ari will be able to actually eliminate the marksman overall, and that's gonna be a very big problem. Now he does not really have the flash, so Varus is already so immobile, so I don't know what exactly is the solution here for the likes of Axis Legends.
I think Assassin Academy know that they got a really valuable pick, and they're trying to push in the attack, but looks like Tail Eater is going to go in. The Renekton with the ultimate is just going to displace everybody else, but Assassin Academy, they got out alive. They're not going to commit into the fight, so no one gets picked off. You know, Seki there just shows that, you know, how mobile he is and how easily he can catch somebody off. And now with Yuno, oh, we're going back into the Maggie hot card replay. Contract, you want to take this one?
Yeah, sure. Like, we saw this very big fight happening, and I gotta commend Axis Esports for being able to not only steal, but to collapse on them from all angles of the river. Top portion of the river, all the way to its lower side of the river bit. So, heading in towards this phase of the game, it's already 15 minutes that has passed. Only slight differentials when it comes down to goal. Assassin Academy as much as they do have, you know, some extra turrets here and there, but they're really not pressing on because they don't really have a clear answer on how to really start the fight. Because if you look at the side of Assassin's Academy, there's no clear-cut initiator unless you call in the package all the way up front. That will put Zen in towards a very risky position. So it's all about Seki here that needs to actually land the charm perfectly, and then something could happen for the likes of Assassin's Academy. Meanwhile, Access Legends, they got so many methods to do so. You got the Rakan, you got Lee Sin, as well as Renekton. So there's so many options up there on the table. And Access Legends, what they really do is you just have to force the fights instead of just playing a little bit more passive.
Indeed, and I think even the Ari's charm is not exactly the most reliable thing. You have to put yourself in a position where you can reach with that skill shot, and if you don't, you just have to either burn your ultimate and just get back into safety, or risk getting caught in such a manner that's going to lose a lot of benefits and advantages for yourself. At the same time, though, we do see Ocean Drake getting spawned out in the Wildrift. Isis Island is gonna walk straight into a charm, and this might be the proc of his Guardian Angel, but that's not enough because he gets jumps back into safety, into the lines of his teammates.
Yeah, it seems like the collateral didn't manage to actually land the very final blow. I guess it's just slightly off of the range. But overall, very good attempt to really negate Aiden, because now he's backing away. It's Elder Drake here, and you definitely need the Lee Sin to be around. But somehow, Access Academy choose to say, no, I'm not going to be committing. I'm just going to do some split push. I'm just going to be hovering over on the Baron side. So you pick your poison. Which one do you really want to get? Now, Vision Control is going to be out for the likes of Access Legends. And somebody's got to do something about this one. Aiden now already gets a little bit of bird's eye view onto the Braum, but there is a split push coming in from Tick Eater, so there's at least a very good condition to be met.
Yeah, the split push will be pushing in, but I don't think he's gonna commit for it. I think he's gonna regroup with the rest of his teammates though. And the one thing that I want to say is that I think maybe Assassin's Academy could be a little bit scared to start the Dragon just because they know they're dealing with a Lee Sin. Someone with high potential to just jump inside, steal it off, and with him alive, I don't think they want to risk it. But it might be a different decision this time round. They're starting the Dragon, and this is going to be huge for them if they're able to claim it.
Here comes the Renekton dropping right in. Quickness actually charms everybody. It's on the pit. Here we go. It's a mosh pit, baby. And Access Legends, they still need to find a way to actually poke them all down. Dragon dropping low, and this is going to be the spy coming out of Assassin's Academy. Now they go in for the full collateral finish. And Fearless now having no mana, bro. Where are you going to run away from G-Ruler? While Yuno is going to last few members out there, GA being popped, Yuno still has his. Well, Aiden runs for his life. Honestly, I want to actually pull one point out where Fearless, he dropped in that Mega Inferno Bomb unnecessary before the fight even started. He has a Vision Ward in there, and he actually wasted that opportunity. It could have been used for this team fight.
Yeah, definitely, and I think that was what really put him into the back foot. In the end of the day, he just lost that damage that could be possibly putting into an AoE effect for the rest of the team on the enemy side. And with that, Assassin's Academy is going to take that as an indicator that let's start the Baron. This is the time to start picking up the objectives.
13-9. With a huge lead now, swinging in favor of the likes of Assassin's Academy with this Baron power play as well. They should be able to actually close out this game. They will lose one turret, however, but that's not going to be all too worrisome for the likes of Assassin's Academy. Access Legends, if we look at the itemization, how on earth is a Ziggs 047? Like, is this a support Ziggs? I'm not trying to actually, you know, give him too much of a, you know, negative feedback or so, but something's just not working right for him. Like, as a Ziggs, you're supposed to actually get all the real pokes done, but it seems like he's really playing a little bit too passively, and he is kind of having a little bit of a choke going on, like, for real. from what I'm
Yeah, and I
observing.
think it's all the micro decisions that he makes, just mechanically wise. You know, throwing that Mega Inferno bomb and before the team fight even started. Look at the way he's like positioning. The melting bomb just doesn't seem to land on any of them. It's just something that he has to work on. And with that, Seki does see the opportunity to be the mid laner that is the one to watch instead. Gets that pick off Tear Eater, the big guy inside of Axis Legends goes down. It looks as though Assassin Academy, they're just going to be knocking on the doors, the nexus of Axis Legends.
And here comes the last run. This will be it. First point goes over to Assassin Academy with a sure immense power that has been displayed throughout the Rift. So overall, I'm liking what I'm seeing coming in the way that they make certain decisions, although sometimes it does cost them their own lives in particular. But that final fight over on that Elder Drake was the game-winning factor for the likes of Assassin Academy. So I just see a lot of few issues coming from Axis Legends. Some of the members are doing fine, but the mid lane, they definitely need to establish a stronger footing, especially when you go in for such a build, you know, like this is a very standard way of playing Ziggs, but the issue is that members of Assassin's Academy, they keep rushing onto it, especially Seki. So I don't know, like perhaps getting a few more of all these defensive items out there will be able to actually do the trick. Sometimes even in QSS will be something that you can actually look to because you don't really have too much hard CC other than the charm. So Fearless 04 and 7, maybe he wants to look for something that's different, like a Galio. Instead of fanning away, he can actually pick that one up to actually get a little bit more room to face off against an Ahri. But I think that even for the likes of Assassin's Academy, there's still a few more things that I want to see them improve when it comes down to decision making.
Yeah, I definitely agree with you on that, and we'll be able to see that in the second round, so it's not over yet. But one thing I want to point out ironically is that, you know, earlier onwards you did mention that Fearless, he was playing really aggressively in the previous matches, and I think he might have took that a bit too hard and decided they would play a little bit passively now with the Zig. So, you know, we have the overcommitting, we have the undercommitting. Which side do you think he shines best at?
Just overcommitted. Like, at least go in for the kills. You get some trading going down. If you get yourself taken out, that's fine. It's a 50-50. But if you keep pushing your whatever advantage that you have and you do it recklessly, that's where it will definitely cost you. But I think there's no harm trying because Ziggs has so much safety net already. But why is this happening overall? I guess the dives were a little bit overwhelming to him that, you know, it set him back so much so that he doesn't dare to step too much forward. And, you know, sometimes he just fat-fingered ult. So I'll cut him some slack and just give him a little bit of breathing space to think what should he do for the next game. But overall, I do like the other members that they've been able to actually slide right in, get the Dragon Steel at the very least. Aiden has done it once, but the second time coming, or the most important moment, he didn't manage to get that smite on that Elder Drake. So I guess there's that, and we're just going to be taking a little bit of a breathing space here, and when we come back, me alongside with Lemonade, we will be able to bring you the game 2 of this match.
Lihat, tunggu TV. Boom! Wah, bakar, bro! Itu petangkap alam mata. Adakah Berjaya mendapatkan triple kill mencari yang keempat dan kuasa kill.
I'm so sorry that I wasn't really there for me. Cause nobody else.
Nice. Alright, go. Down first. Can. Alright, down already. Nexus. Alright, okay. Nice! I'll see you in the game. Alright guys, let's go on board. Okay.
Lihat, tunggu TV. Boom! Wah, bakar bro! Itu bertangkap alamak. Adakah dia berjaya mendapatkan triple kill mencari yang keempat dan kuasa kill?
Welcome back to League of Legends Wildrift C Icon Series Malaysia. All this is made possible by ESL as well as Riot Games. So, of course, this is where we all go in with another matchup between TODAK as well as Assassin Academy. Oh, sorry, by the way, TODAK has already finished the game. They won, so it is Access Legends. I didn't get over it because it was all too good, but, you know, eliminate. There's a lot to talk about, so in game number 1, it looks a little bit messy for the likes of Access Esports, and, you know, I just feel like there's still things that they can do to refine their play.
Yeah, definitely. And don't worry about the mix-ups with the names. I too got mixed up with Access Esports, Assassin Academy, especially since it's A and A on both sides, and also the same sound, right? Access, Assassin. I'm like, oh, my tongue twister everywhere. Oh, okay. So at least for the first game, it was a little bit lacking and in need of a little bit more from at least both sides, at least two, because I think one thing is that it was very difficult for both sides to set the tempo that they want to in both sides throughout the whole entire game. A lot of them are playing reactively, and that is something that I can commend. But at the same time, you know, I want to see the pacing go a little bit different. You know, one person trying to make the actions that the other team has to just play in the back foot. At the same time, we do see the pick and bans coming in. The Vayne is also going to be banned at the same time, again, from Assassin Academy. So we do see a bit of a swap as well. Assassin Academy goes to the blue side and Access Legend at the red side.
Yeah, and I do think that we will see something of a different sort of tempo now that they don't have the TF, they don't have the Vayne. This actually opens up for options. Camille will be looking pretty good, but they want to get the Gragas. So Access Esports turn, they get a double pick, which can be quite lethal, if I must say. So, like I said, Camille, too hard not to pass, and that's where she comes in. I want to see her being played out in the jungle if that's going to be the case. But then again, against the Gragas, if he's going to jungle, it's going to be a little bit hard. So if you were to actually put this sort of matchup over the Baron lane, I do think it will be pretty good for the Camille. But now, there is a little bit more of an extra pocket pick coming in, and that's going to be the Riven.
Yeah, the Riven gets picked up, and she is somewhat of a wild card, someone that is viable to play, but you really need to know the skills and the mechanics of a Riven player. You know, I think I mentioned this earlier before yesterday that when you have a really good Riven who knows how to cancel your animations, know how to utilize that stuns and everything, it is just scary throughout. We do see a Wukong coming in as well. What do you think about the Wukong pick, Contra?
Very interesting. So whether if it's a Wukong versus Riven or Wukong versus Gragas, I think the Wukong will be able to actually hold his own early game. Maybe a little bit more spicy, and I see you glow up for a tad bit because Irelia is being brought to play. Let's talk about this even further, right? Because we saw a lot of great outplays when it comes down to the PC scene in mobile. Although it's a little bit of a challenge trying to actually pull the blades together, but if you can make that outplay possible, it is going to be worth every shot.
Yeah, definitely. I think the Irelia and the Riven pick just really shows that, you know, they want to have this outplay potential in both sides, and it really looks like two different teams completely. It's like I'm not even casting the same teams from the first game because the draft is just so different as it is.
Wow. Okay. Now, I was actually expecting a very standard sort of draft, but you know, Assassin Academy, they just really want to throw us curveballs, and I just really wonder, you know, I really finally being brought right inside of the Rift. How is this going to come up with when it comes down to, you know, these sort of plays that you really want to put? Because I really can go into towards the mid lane. She can also go into the Baron lane, and at certain cases, the jungle. I've seen it myself yesterday. I kind of remember how my game went. From what I knew, it wasn't a smooth sailing ride. So, of course, different level of play overall. I assume that many of all these pro players, they're at least around the ranks of Diamond or above. So you can expect very sharp decisions making overall. It's more of the fine tuning of how they actually take certain team fights. So it's time for us to actually hit right into the Rift. Lemonade, whose side are you on this time?
I have to be on the side where my waifu Aurelia is in. She's just, you know, my inspirational as in her lore and in her design. She is beautiful as it is. And it's in the hands of Seki, someone who's been usually playing the Ahri, which is now on the other side at Fearless's hand. So this could be something that is advantageous for Seki too, because he knows how an Ahri works, right? So look at that, he's already making those dodges. But one thing I want to say is I think we're going to see a lot of 1v1s here, you know, with all these champions that has that brawling potential.
Yeah, I definitely love that you pointed out that fact. It feels like everybody just wants to focus on their own lane, make this a typical pub stomp game if you really want it to be. So I just really wonder, you know, like when it comes down to team fighting potential, how is this going to be ruling out for certain teams, and what are the sort of win conditions for the likes of Axis Legends? Because I'm looking at it, and that tells me that they really want to start a team fight, something that's just still very much in the conventional radar at the very least.
Yep, for Axis side, I think that's exactly what they want to do. But when you have like the Riven, you have Seki, the Aurelia, you have the Gragas, you have to be wary from all sides and corners when you're starting a team fight, because they can come in and flank at any given time. So especially for people such as Yuno on the Tristana, as well as the other carries, where having that mobility is going to be useful for them to try to get out of those sticky situations. But it really comes down to how they play it and the positioning of the team fight, essentially.
Yeah, and overall, I don't think that Tail Eater, he won't be actually be bullied off too much by the Riven unless Niles pays him the visit, which is currently happening. I think he might have actually not spotted it out. Oh, beautiful power slam! This may just be the first blood as they go in for the knockup. GE Ruler with the very first kill. This is going to make the Riven snowball out of control, I hope.
Yeah, and one thing I want to bring up, a little bit unconventional for a shoutcast, is that, you know, my friends, when they look at Wildrift, they say, you know, why does the top laner, the Baron laner, not have like any chance living within the first 3 minutes? They always get ganked. They always have, you know, the jungler visiting them, and it's just gonna be a sad life. What do you think about that, Contra?
Well, it's all about getting that sort of winning lane. You win lane, you win game, that sort of mentality going on, especially when it comes down to Baron lane. Junglers who do not love to pay them a visit are just absolutely evil monsters, you know, like, okay, just kidding. I'm a top lane main myself, which is why I feel it from time to time.
I see.
Well, so once you actually get a lead for your Baron lane, just one kill is sufficient. You know, like you'll be able to actually get the lane shelves going on. You'll be able to actually go for an out trade. And if you were to actually lose out on the next trade, it's absolutely on you if there's no jungle gang. And overall, G-Rule now getting bullied off, and that's a very good hook shot. But G-Rule trades right back. This is what we were talking about. A flash coming right through, and they both cruise out for a very low health side on both ends. Oh, word. My words are jumbling up because of how well these two are playing.
That was exactly what we expected, right? Brawling 1v1s, and G-Rule and Terry, they were head-to-head. It was really just up to the last hit, but I think that common respect over there was just given at the right time, and both of them were able to just go back and recuperate to duel another day. I'm pretty sure we're going to see more of that.
Yeah, and currently we do have the Drake already being up available. The question now here is, is it probably going to be Axis Legends who actually starts it? Because there are a lot of members of Assassin Academy that can easily dash over the wall, not even needing that blast cone. And here comes a little bit of a flawless duet, just getting the stun off of Fearless. This matchup is still going to be very decent for Fearless, but he cannot really overstep in towards the mid half of the checkpoint. So Assassin Academy, they're taking it a little bit slower, and so shall we.
Yep, so shall we. But I think the dragon is going to be start up just as a precaution, making sure that no one is doing it at the same time. Look at Assassin Academy, they're just trying to get the information out as much as they can, putting down the wards, and that's going to be crucial for them in making the decision to start out this dragon.
Yeah, and currently with the rest of AMG actually loitering around, this is where they just want to bait Axis Legends to commit, hopefully burn some ultimates, because for them to actually win this trade, they need to actually pull members of Axis Legends apart, try to actually get that pick. Speaking of the pick going on, it's going to be Tail Eater in a very awkward position, but it's a Camille after all, goes in for the hook shot, get out there alive. So this is the question to ask Axis Legends. Do they really want to commit? Because if they do, they have to start with the Wukong coming in with the cycle.
Yep, they have to play, and that comes the Hexa Ultimatum. Bunch of ultimates coming down the taunt as well. Charm is coming everywhere, and the dragon's still alive. But here comes the hero's entrance that's going to save the rest of his teammates. Look at Assassin Academy, look how they're playing it just everywhere on the map. Galio gets taken down. You know, he is still alive, has to burn that flash, but that will be Assassin's Academy team fight to win.
Yeah, and this was what we just pointed out, right? Like, that fight, it all started with Camille. Although she was pretty much all the way up front, she initially dodges a little bit of a treacherous situation, but coming back in, Hexa Ultimatum has to connect with a hero's entrance perfectly so. And Assassin's Academy, they managed to not only dodge it, they burned some of the ultimates, rendering this team fight to be ineffective for Axis Legends. But I like the calls overall. Now it's 3-2, still very good chances for the likes of Axis Legends. They're playing better than they did back in game number 1, that's for sure, for this first quarter of the match. So heading in towards the Rift Herald portion of the map, we have Axis Legends already taking down the health bars of this Rift Herald, and here comes Miles going for a reset.
Miles is going for that priority. Thank you for the leash. I think he's just gonna say he's gonna use explosive cast to make sure no one comes in. A fight breaks loose. The grand entrance comes in, and Irella's ultimate. Ooh, everybody is in a skirmish right now. Hexa ultimate comes in the right time. Fearless, he is fighting for his life, and the rest of his teammates, they're not going to be there to help him, and that will be an ace to the start of Assassin's Academy.
What a fight that was, Assassin Academy. That is almost illegal. Look at how well I really actually pull out her ultimate. They're getting majority of them stuck in the Vanguard's edge, unable to even try to flash themselves out of that situation. And let's say it, the fights went on everywhere, and Axis Legends gave them the biggest of leash. Now they pay the price. One tower takedown and a whole lot of plates out over mid. And hey, Shelly actually gets tier 2.
Oh, he does get tier 2, and that's gonna open up mid a whole lot more back into the Maggie Hookup. Look at how the Irelia ultimate just landed. The ultimates here, these are the ones that are actually the game changers, and now look, fights everywhere. Zeki is going on and on. He is the one that is going into the backline and making sure that no one gets out alive.
Well, we got to thank Maggie Hot Cup for the instant replay, but that's making me hungry for more. So 8-3, Assassin Academy. They have this sort of composition which was for the very first time, but we saw they wanted the fight, they will get the fight, and now I finally see why they actually go in for, you know, a very, some would call a greedy sort of composition, because yeah, get all the brand new champions, put it in the same team, and you will be able to actually get everything going on. To an extent, true, but are they broken? Not exactly. Here comes the team fight.
The team fight comes up. The Ireli ultimate's gonna drop down. Fearless starting out the team fight, but now running for his life. It looks as though Assassin Academy there, they have the upper hand. They didn't know there were so many members over the wall, and that really puts the disadvantage to Axis Legends, because that's when Axis Fearless breaks out into a fight and then just gets punished for it entirely.
That's a big oof right there. Like, just seeing how they actually went into that fight, not having enough of all their members to really commit, and they still win anyways. Axis Legends bit way too much more than they can chew. While Seki right now is going to be scaling. Blade Surge can now easily take minutes with just a single click. So you better be aware of the area when she comes in. And I want to see how many members of Axis Legends will she be able to actually stun up later on. Now going for the Infernal. Then Axis Legends there a little bit tapped too late. Here comes Explosive Cast, and Cavalry has already arrived. Spirit Rush moves right in. Ruler tries to actually tank and all the damage, but this is a big Heroes entrance, knocking all on top of the 4 members out there. Axis Legends, they still choose to retreat, and Giro says, "Where are you going, my friend?" Here comes the Wind Slash, and they all get taken down. Only 2 survives. Axis Academy, they stay clean and crispy.
It is just so difficult to stop anybody coming into the backline. We have the Riven, you have the Ireli, you even have the Corki, the Gragas, and the Rakan. Everyone's going to try their hand at the backline, and that's why Yuno is the first one to get taken down. And then that's going to be smooth sailing for Assassin Academy right after that in that team fight.
Yeah, I absolutely love the way Assassin Academy is playing. This is how you really want to exert that sort of pressure and regain that control. Just make sure that, you know, you continue on with this lead snowballing that Axis Legends could not possibly do anything at all. Now, Wukong, the reason why I'm not the biggest fan of Wukong is not only the jungling speed, but also he only does one thing well in particular, which is go in, get everybody knocked up in the air, buy a little bit of spacing and time. But that's all that you can actually get out of Wukong. It's not really about, oh, sure, firepower. And look at the Wukong. He's only got the Guardian Angel. It's 11 minutes in the game. No upgrades. This Wukong is dirt poor, I tell you that, because he's almost at the same goal as this Rakan.
Yeah, and that's Starkey because that's the jungler against the support, and that's a comparison that you kind of need to make to realize how behind this Wukong is. It's actually pretty behind, at least for Axis Legends. That's almost a 10k goal differential, and also turrets and objectives. Yuno here might be the only saving grace, but that's where Assassin Academy know where to focus the position that Yuno, he survives, but the rest of the team, they're gonna be sacrificed for his life, and he goes down as well. Fearless is gonna be trying to save out Aizen, but I think this is where Assassin Academy, they know they can commit hard, they have the power spikes, and they're going to go for it. This is Assassin Academy's game to win, as long as they don't make any other mistakes.
L, you make me really tempted to shout one word. I have the power! This is where Assassin Academy gets the Baron buff as well for the Baron power play, and indeed, you are definitely right. Like, just look at how quickly they clear out the Baron. No spacing coming in from the likes of Axis Legends to even react or to respond. I'm just having fun overall. I hope you didn't mind the screen.
No worries. No. Energy levels are good. Energy levels is what keeps this whole entire broadcast entertaining, especially coming from you, Contra. The one thing I want to say is that it's very interesting to see how Assassin Academy, I mean, clearly they are the assassins, right? They are the ones playing the pickoffs, but we do see them moving as a unit at the same time. Whenever somebody breaks out in a fight, they are going to respond, and I think that's what really sets them apart from solo queue with tournament plays.
Indeed, right? And when you look at the way that Assassin Academy is playing, like, they got a game plan going on, they stick to it, and now this is where they're going to go for a catch. The Tail Eater will have to fight the Thus. So, I guess you could just say Eater instead of Kill, while Assassin Academy will get another turret off. Easy Baron power play going on there. While all these sort of rotations coming into effect, AMG, they should be able to actually get a little bit more if they were to go in for the next Drake up available in the form of Mountain Drake.
Yep, I don't think this is Assassin's Academy's game to lose right now, unless someone overcommits, but I don't think that would be too much of a problem because look at the money difference that we see at the top. That is humongous numbers. There you go, the Mountain Dragon gets secured, even more of a big number difference, and Baron is going to push it in. Access Legends right now really at the back foot, and I really do not want to be in Yuno's position at all, in any sense.
Yeah, and just look at all the members of Assassin's Academy really making bank, like you said, is the Corky as well as the Riven alongside really stashing in like those 5 digits. So if that's gonna be their monthly income, I guess they will be able to actually get some great deals out of that. So Access Legends now, they are less worried because the Baron buff has already been vanishing right after Assassin's Academy has been able to siege over on the top portion of the map. But the split push is going on. A 1-3-1 formation has been set out by Assassin's Academy. So we'll see, can Access Legends really hold on real tight because these 2 siege minions are already in place.
Yeah, doesn't seem to be enough for them because look at how the minions just die straight away. As Assassin Academy, they really want to just push out and siege these turrets, but minions, they're not there yet, so they just have some extra time for Access Legends to just have a little bit of breathing space. And look at how they're juggling right now at the defense.
Yeah, I think that they're actually matching decently well. Assassin Academy, they really need to actually push and shove. Somebody who can actually start the fight is going to be Niles here. One good explosive cast could be able to actually do it all together. Or else they could just wait for 15 seconds on the clock. Next Baron will actually spawn up. So they could slowly work towards baiting Access Legends to commit to a fight. They don't really need to worry too much because they can't get their health bars back up. Mountain Drake's on their side, so a lot of good protection. While Access Legends, they're not really in the best place to contest, but the Wukong's already marching in.
Yeah, Wukong's already marching in, but I don't think he's gonna go for it. I think there's a debate going on with Access Legends as well because look at it, it's just back and forth. They want to go for it, they don't want to go for it. But at the same time, Assassin's Academy, Rakan with their knockup and the quickness is going to make sure that no one gets in. At the same time, a fight breaks up here as Entrance comes out, knocks out Ruler, but there goes the Idol Duranton. Seki is already at the back line. We don't even have to look at the front. The back is just destroying everybody that's important. Seki there is just going to go for the backline, make sure that none of the carries join the fight at any given time. Wow, Assassin's Academy, that is just something that is special to them, unique to them, and they are able to capitalize on the comp and the draft that they picked out.
22-4. This is a statement game coming out of Assassin's Academy saying that they want their slot to the regular season and they are trying to book a ticket to the playoffs. And now marches up ahead to the lower bracket finals.
Wow, what a game. I'm pretty sure the comments are coming in, how does this draft work out? How does this whole entire playstyle work out, especially in tournament play? And I think this really shows, the interesting parts where we can come up from rookie teams, the interesting plays and the playstyles and draft composition that we can see from all these people who are trying to qualify into the fall season.
Yeah, and I guess that there's a few things that we have to take note about this game, how it really went well, right? So it's about winning the lanes overall first, and we saw a very good setup coming from Niles, and after that, the Riven got the advantage against the Camille. Although we saw a really close fight where they go toe-to-toe, leaving with only little bit of a HP and they have to reset. But when they come back, when it comes down to team fight potential, I guess that the Camille has already been brought a little bit low, but it wasn't really a big fault on the side of Access Legends, right? They really tried to test it all. Iden really not having the best of games in particular, and G Ruler really had it all going because of all these setups. Niles, like I said, has to be the MVP here. He's playing one of the best Dragons games possible, 13 assists, 6 kills, and everybody's rich on Assassin's Academy.
Yeah, look at the damage that they dealt. Everybody at Assassin Academy is just so mobile, so slippery, and it's really hard for Axis Legends to just lock down anybody. None of them really have a reliable crowd control except for maybe the Camille with the Hexed Ultimatum is gonna lock someone down, but that's just one person, you know. You have so many other champions to worry about. They're just gonna go to your backline and make sure they don't even get to join the fight when it starts at all.
Yeah, this reminds me of a team called MVP from the Hong Kong region, where they were one of the hot favorites from their own side. Well, they crafted this composition with so much damage going on that you don't really know how to focus anybody at all. So I guess this is where they created pretty much like a triple threat going on, where you got the Riven, you got the Irelia, as well as the Corki, each respectively very hot to catch, and you got the Gragas to add things on top of the icing on the cake. So I guess there was that, and congratulations to the likes of Assassin Academy. They finally get that 2-0 and eliminate. Any words before we take a short break?
I just want to say, you know, Assassin Academy, you guys really took the tempo. As we all mentioned earlier, we wanted to see that, and you guys gave it to us. And with that, we will be going straight into a break. After this, we'll be seeing one more game for the day. Do you happen to know the teams for contract for the next one?
Well, yes, I do know for the fact that we will have a few more coming in, but I'll definitely have to check my schedule for that. So I believe Iblis will be taking some of the games here. So, you know what? Let's check it out while we go on the break, and we'll come right back after this for our final series of the day.
Nice. Alright, go. Down first. Can. Alright, down already. Nexus. Okay. Nice! I'll see you in the game. Alright guys, let's go on. Okay.
Lihat, tubuh TV. Wow! Wah, bakar, bro! Itu petangkan alam mata. Adakah Berjaya mendapatkan triple kill, mencari yang keempat dan kuasa kill.
And held up my head. But it's getting hard to say that I am not a pretender. No, I don't wanna leave any words unsaid. Now I think that you hate me, and I'm driving you crazy. Wish I could stay forever, but maybe we're better when we're not together. I know
up, up, up. 1,000 miles of luck. Don't look down, we made it. Feet far off the pavement, and we go up, up, up. 1,000 miles of luck. We stay understated. Pressure feels amazing. Just the dust, just the sand, just the motion of your hands. Travel like lands, it's just enough, oh yeah. Just for you, just a man, just an ocean in the wind. We ain't gotta make plans, fair enough, oh yeah. Always you and me, tryna be weightless. Like we're the two surviving pieces of something. Always you and me, tryna be weightless. And I know it feels like a light years in the making. Up, up, up. 1,000 miles of luck. Don't look down, we made it. Feet far off the pavement, and we go up, up, up. 1,000 miles of luck. Oh no, we stay understated. Pressure feels amazing. Just the dust, just the sand, just the motion of your hand. Travel like land, just your hype man, just the one, just a believer. I don't care, I see ya loading up my mind. Place me on the side, fair enough, oh yeah. Always you and me, tryna be weightless. Like we're the two surviving pieces of something. Always you and me, tryna be weightless, yeah. And I know it feels like light years in the making. Up, up, up. 1,000 miles of luck, yeah. Don't look down, we made it. Feet far off the pavement, but we go up, up, up. 1,000 miles of luck. Oh no, we stay understated. Pressure feels amazing. Just the dust, just the sand, just the motion of your hand. Just the dust, just the sand, yeah, yeah. Travel like traveling. Just the dust, yeah, just the sand. Hey, just the dust, just the sand, just the dust, just the sand. Always you and me, tryna be weightless. Like we're the two surviving pieces of something. Always you and me, tryna be weightless. And I know it feels like light years in the making. Oh, duh, 1,000 miles of luck. Don't look down, we made it. Feet far off the pavement, and we go up, up, up. 1,000 miles of luck, yeah, yeah. We stay understated. Pressure feels amazing. Wish we could learn how to love our mistakes, straight from the jump and not wait for an answer. Wish we could smile, which is rough nowadays.
Lihat, tunggu Stewie. Boom! Wah, bakar bro! Itu petangkap alamat. Adakah dia berjaya mendapatkan triple kill, mencari yang keempat dan kuasa kill.
and ready to go, everybody. Welcome back to the ESL Mobile Open presents League of Legends Wildrift Sea Icon Series Malaysia Fall Season 2021. My name is Eliminate, but you might mistaken me for Corky. But at the same time, I have Contra on the other side there. What's up, Contra?
Hi, Captain Corky, and of course, Lemonade. That was some really epic game that we have already witnessed. Overall, 2 series have passed, and yeah, I just can't take my eyes off on, where did you actually get that Corky hat going on? I wish I could actually get one for myself because I used to be a Corky main as well, hitting it towards the League PC counterpart. But in Wild Rift, people been snatching rolls and stuff. So I'm like, okay, I'll leave the Corky behind. And I've been moving towards the barrel lane. So I believe that you've been playing some of all these matches in the Rift as well. What's your favorite champion to actually play for the moment?
It's just the funny part, like you mentioned you were playing a little bit of like carries, like marksmen and mid lanes, and then, people just snatched them up, and then you decided, hey, I'm going to go to the barrel lane. Exactly the same thing happened to me, by the way. And coming from League of Legends PC, I am a marksman, I'm an AD carry, I'm a support main. But when I come into Wild Rift, everybody insta-locks, right? Insta-locks the champions that they want to play. And I'm like, okay, guys, I guess I'll play Baron lane. And then I guess this is how I transition into a Darius Wild Rift main. So guys, never say never. Sometimes things will happen.
That's right, and this is where we will confirm one slot for either SDGR Iblis or Splatzone Insomniacs, because this is the winner's bracket. Whoever wins this will take the very first bye into the playoff season. So on SDGR side, Iblis, it's going to be Emotionless over Baron lane, Fallen going into the jungle, Williams over in the mid lane as well. God Gatsby as the marksman, and also Zafarov as their support. Overall, I think that this team has a lot to offer. On the other end, it's a veteran team. Insomniacs has been able to play very well because Splatzone, they have been together for quite some time. Despite a little bit of shift when it comes down to roster swaps, Emotionless, also known as Emotion, he has been playing back in the PC days as he played for even Berjaya Dragons recently on Wild Rift, and then he was moving from team after team in Lynx Esports. So now finally finding a new home. But what about Splatzone Insomniacs? What can you tell us about it?
Splatzone Insomniacs at the barrel lane, we have Divine One, Evolution in jungle, Wado in mid lane, Saras and Lins at the bottom side. And I think yesterday's performance by Splatzone Insomniacs, especially for Saras, was really an indicator of how well they are in their mechanics and how well they are playing. And I guess I'm a Teemo now, guys.
Okay, that's a real great role swap that you've been mentioning, like, oh, somebody's been stealing your AD carry or support. You know what? Go Teemo. Hit to the Baron lane. Go to the mid lane for AD Teemo. I guess that works too. So I've been waiting for, all these offline events to happen. I hope everyone is actually staying pretty safe at home. Make sure you guys don't go out. I know currently the pandemic situation isn't really in a good state. So make sure you all keep yourself healthy, stay in shape, get some water, and of course, chow down on some Maggie Hot Cup from time to time if you guys want to reward yourself. So, yep, just pointing out to the Maggie Hot Cup right there. Right there.
Yeah.
So,
one thing I want to say. One thing I want to say about these players, I have been looking at the player list, and something that I like to highlight is that the supports are the captains of the team. And I love seeing that because, when you support, usually people will say they're not the ones that are highlighted, they're not the major carries. But when you have a support role, you can get to see the whole overview. And I really like the support are the captains for both sides of the teams, Splatzone Insomniacs and SDGR Iblis.
Yeah, and these two are definitely long coming players to the Wild Rift scene, and they've been playing, I believe, even from the closed beta or early days of the open beta. Zafarov, I've been looking at this name, he's been popping up from time to time, and I'm glad that Iblis, they managed to also get him leading the pack. Then overall, other than the support role that usually gives the shot call, is usually also on the jungle. But heading in towards the bans, we saw the TF going down with Gragas, no Wukong, no jungling Jarvan or the top lane Jarvan. That opens up so many options on the table. Look at all the power picks. I'm happy about this game already. This is the upper brackets and they just really want to go hard or go home. So Divine 1, Camille, alongside with the Galio Fiora being picked up by SDGR. 6, okay. I don't know. What other power picks are we going to be expecting here, L?
Oh, well, at least right now, my eyes are feasting at what I see. We see the Fiora, we see the Renekton, we see the Camille, and even the Galio pickup. These are things that are usually banned out, and I'm super happy to see them being picked up on the table. At least on the side of SDGR, Iblis, Janna and Darius is going to be almost completing the roster. So it's going to be interesting to see how Splatzone and Samurai respond to that, and they will be taking up the Tristana, something that has been a monster for Sarah to be playing. And with the Lulu again, this pairing has been the one to cause the mayhem for the enemy team when they are playing the bot lane.
That's right. And a few lanes that I really want to prioritize here is going to be the mid lane matchup here because Wadu, he plays an exceptionally great mage overall in all his matches that we've witnessed. So going up against Williams, he'll be able to actually contribute to more of these team fights with the Galio now that they have a little bit of switcheroo going on. But top lane, also something that we have to actually highlight because Divine 1 will now have to take on one of the great top laners overall, and that's Emotionless here that really has to really put up the A game to find off against the likes of the Camille. So interesting interaction between the Darius as well as Camille, but I think Camille definitely has a slight edge unless she goes all in. But you know what? Let's get into the Rift to find out more. This is the best of 3. Winner gets to play in the playoffs, and I'm excited to see who's the first in that match to do so. If they drop, they will be heading in towards the lower bracket finals for yet another shot of a chance to qualify.
Yeah, but it's super exciting to see both of these teams go against each other. Both of these players are really good, especially in terms of macro juggling, and that's what really sets them apart from other teams, right? That's what gave them the win, essentially, in the first match. So having all of these power picks, people who are able to just rotate and play to their strength. Look at this, we already have the 2 versus 2 at the side of mid lane, make that 3 versus 2 now, and that's just going to have the early push, the early siege to make sure that Splatzone and Somniacs, they have to deal with that and open up so much more rotation possibilities on the side of SDGR Iblis.
Yeah, and just to correct myself as well, this Camille is going to be heading in towards the jungle. So jungle Camille, jungle Fiora. This is something that we've seen from time to time when it comes down to the Summer Super Cup in the regional stages of the match. So meaning to say that these guys have done their homework, and Camille has been able to flex even in the past season. As being displayed by Berjaya Dragons' very own Chili, being one of the best players at the Camille. So Sarah's now trying to fall back, don't really want to be poked by all these feathers being thrown right at him. I guess eventually when Sarah's gets a little bit more of the levels, he'll be able to actually upgrade the range passively in order to do a little bit of a better trading. Now, with the Camille also being loitering around the bottom side, there's a lot of pings going on over on towards the top portion of the map. So I guess that ward has already been able to actually spot some of all this danger, and there's no point diving if connected. So Iblis, they try to go in for a little bit more of an aggressive rotation. Now they're fighting over a Scuttle, who's gonna be able to take it.
Yep, just a Scuttle enough to fight the fight. Here's the exhaust. It's going to drop onto Sarah, but Wildrift, he's in a position he does not want to be in. A Fallen is, as well as the rest of Splatzone is going to move over to save his teammate. Linz, almost gets caught, but with that flash, he manages to get out with his life. Fallen, I think he's just looking at his prey. He's going to go for it. Oh, he's just going to dash forward and hit that final evolution. Now, he wants his piece to make sure that his teammate doesn't go down without any revenge for evolution. He's just going to give the double kill. Fallen here really knowing his limits and knowing when to respect and to go in. Sarah, now he is one man alone in the tower, and this is the tower that we see. Red team triple kill straight off the bat. 2 minutes, 30 seconds, not even 30 seconds. What was that? We have Fiora here showing exactly why you need to take her off in the bans. You have to ban her out, if not she's just going to be a monster and duel you that way.
what a start, and this is going to be another one with a long bleed stack on top of the bomb. Oh, the flash comes in, Emotionless knows that he's got this one in the back, but Evolution will be dropping right in. I guess for the bomb, that's going to be stopping the recall. I guess a 1-for-1 trade is good enough. He didn't really have to force a barrage. He's not going to survive anyways. Back towards that bottom fight, that was massive. As a fair
That
player
was
myself,
massive. It was huge.
I just was having this beautiful dream that, you know, if I can pull this off every game, great, but I don't put her into the jungle all too often, and that's the power of the Fuhrer for you on how she can just out-trade everybody, look for the vital spot with the lunge, and just get this big chunk of damage of the health bars off the likes of Splatzone. Now, what a huge swing. 5-1. And it's a 3,000 to 4,000 difference in terms of goal for a lead. Like, you don't always get that within the span of 3 hits.
Yep, definitely. And also Emotionless picking up that kill early on, but that's going to give him at least some goal advantage over the Renekton. And now it looks as though SDGR Iblis, they are setting the tempo for the rest of the game, especially with that Fiora over there. And as you mentioned, if you play like that, you will be considered, you know, super happy. I think if you played like that, you wouldn't even be a caster, you'd be inside the tournaments there, trying to be #1 in Malaysia, aren't you, Contra?
Yeah, I wish I could, you know, like make bang, enjoy games, but hey, I can't complain because, you know, covering the matches overall excites me. So,
Yeah,
got Gatsby
definitely.
now pressing advantage. Now, it's gonna be Saris here getting rooted up, and he's gonna be having only so little health left. Thank goodness the Howling Gale won't be able to actually catch him off. Now, getting the Honey Fruit, going back for a trade. Now, Wild Growth gets the trade. Redemption a little bit too slow. Zafiroff will be able to push them aside, and that's going to be the Janus surviving with the Monsoon.
Yeah, at the same time, we do see the top lane and the mid lane skirmishes coming in. I don't think we're able to go back into that, but at least on that side, look at the kill board right now. We have like 3 to 7, originally at 1 to 5, and it's now just kills everywhere. Divine One, he is going in, pressing the attack, gonna be the lane bully that he is, but Darius, he's going to try to get out, get some of the healing from that spin, and that is just him saving his life.
Wow, very well played overall. It just shows you how good Emotionless is. Here comes Mega for the prompt, and this is where Evolution has to make a run for his life. He flashes over the wall into safety. They did lose the Drake. Splatzone Insomniacs, they don't really have a good start. We understand why. Like, this sheer amount of pressure starting from the get-go is just knocking them down. It seems like SDGR Iblis, if they have a manual car running, this is always on the 5th gear right after you, of course, you start with engines on the 1st gear. I don't know how they managed to keep it running at the 5th gear all the time. So now, just going to go on neutral for a tad bit. But then again, is it really neutral though when you look at the gold? It's still 4,000 in favor of SDGR.
Yeah, SDGR Iblis here really has the tempo set up for them. And look, even Fallen not doing anything. He's already exerting pressure. He's gonna go with the grand challenge, trying to get that Lulu up. The lunge comes in. He's gonna proc all the vitals, get that healing Saris. He has to try to jump away, but I don't think this is enough for him because look at that really good executed dive. That's really good teamwork this time. Emotionless as well as Fallen.
Yeah, and another team fight breaks up over the top side here. Divine One goes in for the stun. Can it catch onto the 60 out? Evolution will be using the hook shot to just move away. They will eventually lose the Rift Herald, but you know, Shelly says, I don't want to go just about yet. Let me just reset, get back to the base, and yeah, I'm just gonna be smashing myself to the wall. And the Jana managing to land the final blow. So EBZ just looking so dominant right now, crushing another turret. And look at Emotionless, she's going to be doing a 1 versus 2 over the bottom side. Meanwhile, Evolution tries to make his escape. He does make it out alive, but how much longer can he hold? Now, finally, somebody brings down the Darius, and Splatzone Soundx get a little bit more shutdown goal.
Yeah, and I think Fallen here is really the guy to watch. He's barely doing anything much. It's just a really strong pickup. Just having that Fiora with that Vital Pop, with that Lethality, the Trinity Force as well. That's just a lot of damage, and it's a bit too much for Insomniacs to keep up with. Now, just rewinding it back a little bit just now when we had the dragon fight, down at, sorry, not the dragon fight, but the dive from the side of Fallen and Emotionless. We did see if Evolution trying to go for the Herald, at least for an exchange in the macro play, but the rest of the team of SDR Iblis, they are there to respond, and that's just really good synergy overall. They know the objective to keep track of, and they know how the enemy thinks of, and that's exactly how they're going to play, just to make sure that no one goes into a situation they don't want to be in.
Yeah, and currently I'm just looking at Splatzone and Sonics, right? Like, they managed to actually get the Tristana at least some very good items to start off. So 2 item power spike, as much as you see the likes of SDGR Iblis having this bulk of gold, this is where I mentioned Saras. He lands another kill, and this time over on the side of Williams. He is going to be the main man to rescue Splatzone from this dire situation. Wadu now has to flash away, but Fallen, he has the grand challenge, will be able to actually take him down. 12-5. And now SDGR just really want to put a little bit more of that pressure over on towards the mid lane turrets, and that causes Splatzone Insomniacs to just respond. Now, 30 seconds from now, I think this is going to be very important for them to also secure the mountain break, because if they were to actually give more leeway to SDG or Iblis, then this game might just be over before it's begun.
I think they heard you, because they're just gonna go into God Gatsby, but he is going to get the ultimate and the root, saving him from any possibilities of getting picked off, and that's gonna chunk Saras and give him a warning as well. Don't mess with this bird, because Zaya here, she's ready to fight. Speaking of other birds, you know, we have the dragon here, you know, a very distant relative of it coming up, and this is where Iblis, they're gonna try to get this objective. I don't think anybody's gonna try to contest this.
Yeah, and I got a random question for you, right? Is Galio considered a bird? Because he's got wings and now he's flying right in, and he drops in with the hero's entrance as well. Polymobs dropping out towards the side of Motionless, goes in for a pearl bot as well as the flash away. Monsoon keeping them alive. Oh, beautiful Allen kill, dropping it right in. This is where they get the hook shot onto Emotionless as well. Now juggling the fights. This is going to be an even trade. Nobody falls out just about yet. Williams tries to put in a little bit of wind support, but oh my goodness me, a recommitment comes right through, and that's a big shutdown, finally taking down Fallen.
Yep, and I think EBZ, they're not gonna let this slide. They want to force the fight, making sure you don't take our key player for free. But it looks as though Insomniacs, they are ready in the defensive. They are able to keep the rest of their members alive. That is a huge shutdown though. Fallen taken down.
Yeah. What goes up must come down. I guess Fallen has fallen flat only once in the 5 past skirmishes that he took, and I still think that this is going to be a-okay for him. Looking at the itemization, I think that is very interesting that he has a little bit of that armor penetration going on as well. So that's where SDGR Iblis is just going to be finding members of the likes of Splatzone and Sonics, trying to actually choke the flash down. Fallen now starting on the Baron already, 10-minute mark, heading in towards 11 minute, while the jungler, or should I say Mill, is a little bit too far. Here comes the redemption. TP's coming right in, and we might just actually see a steal. The Baron goes over to the side SDGR.
Huge taunt comes in, and the Wild Grove is just gonna have a lot of action in the middle side. Saras is trying to kite away, but look at Emotionless. He is a beast. Along with Fallen, they are already the backline. Wadu turns golden, but that's not enough to save him. Red team triple kill, and that is EBC's ace. I don't think they even need to do anything else. They take the Baron and they take the team at the same time, because I think right now it looks as though they're just going to press the attack and move all the way into the Nexus.
And if they will, 5-man knocking on their doors as SDG or Iblis takes game 1, needing another to advance to the top 4 and qualify for the playoffs of the CE Icon Series Malaysia. Wow, Lemonade, this is another sort of feast that we are getting. I'm blown as well, just like you are. So overall, like, I love all these fights, really went so well. A lot of back and forth, but it was about that Fiora on that early game, snowballing with that triple kill, and my goodness me, that is good enough for them to just snowball out of control. Emotionless was holding his own, didn't need a gank in particular. Mid lane matchup was a-okay, got the Galio dropping right in as well. So over on the side of Splatzone Insomniacs, is this where they will have to take it now?
Oh, right now, I think honestly, I feel it's just a little bit of a draft pick difference. With the Fiora being available, you really don't want anybody else to take it. It really proves that why she's banned from majority of the tournaments. Look at that MVP 5-1 and 8, 11,000 gold. This is just what. That's exactly what gave them the upper edge and just widened that gap even further. At least on the side of Splatzone and Somnex, they are not able to match the tempo. Even Saras, who was originally the monster on the Tristana, is not able to do anything just because of the whole entire map presence that Fallen and Emotionless has established.
Yeah, and I gotta say that these guys definitely deal a truck ton of damage, although they don't have too much diversity when it comes down to magic damage. And who cares when you have everybody running wild around the rift? So Splatzone Insomniacs Evolution was playing very decently well, but a lot of all these objectives have to be given towards the side of SDGR Iblis to start things off with, and then later on they had to pay the price. They were trying to find a solution to this unstoppable Darius, and also the Fallen that has been playing that fantastic Fiora overall. Everybody was in sync, and that was perfect synergy coming in together. Splatzone, however, they don't really have too much of a pure tank going on. I think that's one thing to also address. Perhaps a little bit of a switch up coming into the draft, heading into its game number 2 will be doing them a favor.
Yep. And now I just want to say, Fallen has been on the Fiora, I think, for most of the matches, and I think this is something that Splatzone and Sonics really needs to pick up on and try to get that ban in place, or at least pick up the Fiora for themselves. It's going to be a difficult matchup, but one thing I want to say is that, I really like how SDGR Iblis, that they really make sure that there's no room to breathe. I couldn't even answer you whether Galio was a bird, in my opinion, just because of how fast-paced and how many skirmishes were just breaking out over time.
Well, I guess we asked the audience, what do you think Galio is? Is it a statue or is it a bird? Well, just find that out for yourself as we go on a 4 minutes break, and you can get the answers right back at us. So this Contra as well as Lemonade will be coming back for more Wildrift action.
Nice. Alright, go. Down first. Can. Alright, down already. Nexus. Okay. Nice! I'll see you in the game. Alright guys, let's go on board. Okay.
Lihat, tunggu TV. Boom! Wah, bakar, bro! Adakah Berjaya mendapatkan triple kill, mencari yang keempat dan kuasa kill.
But I can't say why. I'm so sorry that I wasn't really there for me. Cause nobody else is showing any empathy. Rudely awake and quite undertaken. Did I do something wrong? Life isn't easy. Why did you leave me here with my thoughts alone? I don't wanna wake up messed up, cause I can't spend another day like this. Another type of caked up breakup, where I've been finding any way to my fix. But I need you now, cause I don't wanna be around. No, I don't wanna wake up messed up. There's gotta be another way past this. I'm so sorry that Thinking everybody even use an enemy. Brutally awake and quite undertaken, did not do nothing wrong. Life isn't easy, why did you leave me here to get drunk alone? And I don't wanna wake up messed up, cause I can't spend another day like this. Another type of caked up breakup, where I've been finding any way to my fix. But I know I need you now, cause I don't wanna be around. No, I don't wanna wake up messed up, there's gotta be another way past this. If I am so wrong and so gone, miserable, won't you stick around just for some be visible? But you don't, no you don't care.
Lihat tubuh Stewie. Boom! Wah, bakar bro. Itu petangkap alamat. Adakah dia berjaya mendapatkan triple kill mencari yang keempat dan kuasa kill.
Welcome back, Summers, and this is the ESL Mobile Open presenting to you the C Icon Series Malaysia, and this is all League of Legends Wildrift for the Fall Split 2021. My name is Contra, and I have Eliminate Lulu joining us here as we will be your casters for the entirety of the evening. You know, she's a lady that wears many hats, and this is her first time casting, and she's absolutely rocking it so well. So, you know, how are you feeling so far? Because we just witnessed this explosive match that came out, and I love what I'm seeing. Splatzone now on that one deficit. They cannot afford to crash that one final game. And this is where we have to see, is it really going to be Iblis that makes it out with the very first slot?
Well, definitely, I don't want to see 2 zeros for the whole entire round. You know, first time casting, I want it to be long, I want it to be exciting, and I want to see it go to at least like 1-2, you know. And then hopefully we get to see Splatzone and Somniacs really picking it up. They really did well yesterday, you know, with the way they were playing, and I'm hoping that they could actually come back up and just defeat SDGR Iblis this time round. I think it really starts off with the draft and how they play around it. So, you know, we could get an indicator straight off the bat as it is. But one more thing I want to say is that, you know what, call me Illuminate. Yeah, let's go with that.
Yeah, I was trying to actually find a way to combine it, and well, you hit it right on the nail. So now, Illuminate. So what are the predictions of the picks? Because we've already seen the bans coming in, and that's going to be a Fiora as well as TF for the side of Splatzone and Sonics that we don't want to deal with. Wukong be eliminated. I think it might just be another ban, maybe on the Camille, but it will be a Dragon. So it says that, okay, we still have a lot of things opened up. So if you go for Camille, we'll go for Fiora or vice versa.
Yep, the Camille gets picked up and the Ferraras are already banned, and they really need this ban off so that Fallen doesn't get his hands onto the Fiora. At the same time, we do have Galio here, who could be a possible flex pick.
All right, we are finally back here. Apologies for a little bit of a slight difficulties that we have surfacing, but we are back on track. I hope we didn't lose you already because we are in for perhaps our very final game. SDGR Iblis took the upper hand to actually get themselves the advantage here against the likes of Splatzone and Insomniac. So let's head ourselves into the rift. We can just put the survey picks and bans aside, as we already got all the players still getting themselves all into the game. So we didn't really miss out on much.
Is that a Z? Like, the first thing I want to say is that a Z? Okay, but second thing I want to say, Emotionless, what was that? He picks up a Kali straight off the bat. That Z thing though, very interesting coming in the side of Wadu. What do you think about that, Contra?
Yeah, I really do wonder, right? Is this going to be a really good call to actually face off against the Gallo? I think overall it's going to be very good to actually lower him down, come in with the death mark, and, get the shadows really striking them hard and just get people all popped off with those shuriken blades. Now, double shurikens because Divine One is going to be fielding that Akali up top, so I guess the same mindset comes in. Like, you just want this double assassins to be able to actually snowball off from any sort of pick, and Divine One going with some good trades against this Riven.
Good trades indeed, but speaking of that, Wadu here is gonna commit for Williams, and he does take him down with the Ignite. Really close though, but that is exactly why you pick up the Zeds, because you have that 80 damage, something that Gallo doesn't naturally build upon just because he's made up Petricide, and he picks up the 1v1 for himself.
Oh, nice shuriken flip! And that's a flash being burnt by Iblis as well. Emotionless goes down. And this is what I was hoping to see. The assassins actually getting that snowball in effect. And now it's time to start rolling in. When Wadu as well as Divine One will be able to stash in extra bit of the cash. Now, over bomb side, we want to see this Alistar trying to pop off. So with this sort of hit start, Splatzone Insomniacs is back on track.
Yep, they are indeed, and this is a little bit of an overstepping here. They're trying to push in, but if Alistar just pulls the trigger, they might be in danger. But you know what? With that utility and that poke that the Janna provides, it's going to be able to chunk down the Alistar before he even comes in and makes an engage. Look back here at the Assassin versus the Mobility Riven. Looks like multiple fights are breaking loose everywhere. Cataclysm comes in and will shut down the support. Cyrus is now one man versus the rest of them, but he may be able to turn this around. The heal gets popped off at the same time. Wadu might change everything for them. Hero's entrance calls down as well. There goes the death mark, and that'll be gone for the rest of them. Alistar gets taken down. Cyrus now, what looks like a really good save is now going to be him dying to the rest of SDGR Iblis. That is a skirmish, a really long one indeed.
I love this Fiesta breaking down bot lane, top lane, everywhere across the map, and the reaction speed of everybody is so on point. But the biggest winners overall is the Zed and Akali still. And on top of that, the Jarvan came right just about in time. Maybe if he actually pull off the Cataclysm arena a little bit earlier, then they won't be stuck in such a sticky situation. But overall, I think Splatzone Insomniacs, at least, they're holding on towards a slight advantage when it comes down to the carries, but SDGR, they did walk away with a little tap more gold.
Yep, definitely agree, and that's just a benefit that SDGR Iblis that is going to have to savor for the time being, because they have this upper hand. Divine One and Emotionless, they're going at it, they're always going at it, but at the same time, we do have the Cloud Drake that is going to be spawning at the bottom side, and in Splatzone and Sonic, they know this is a priority, so they're already making that positioning and that presence established in the riverside.
I just really feel for the production side, because they have to pan the camera left, right, center, everywhere to go, and like one other kill happens over the top side. Divine One getting shut down, but here comes a death marker already being pulled up, and that's where Williams will just survive with a tick of help. Here comes Hook Shot alongside Hex that eliminated him, a deep dive, but Evolution will trade his life. Is it worth it? That calls into question.
That is the question indeed. I'm not too sure how worth that was, but at the very least, we do have one man down and one man being taken back. But that is the jungler, so that could be some presence taken off the map. I think SDGR, they know this and they're gonna capitalize on it. Just moving their way all the way down towards the riverside and possibly look at the objectives that they want to take.
Yeah, and that objective here will be the very first trick. Cloud Trick definitely benefits Splatzone Sonics a whole lot, but when it comes down to clearing speed, I do think that if the 5-man stack of EVZ were to actually go together, Captain Rain alongside with what they can actually do, can easily secure this, especially now that they have 4 members committing over on towards the river. They should be able to actually chunk down the health bars, but Evolution, he might just actually go in with a quick shot. Here comes the smite! Oh, that's the steal! And he walks out alive with a flash as well. They may be committing here with a better storm, now going for a trade as well. God Gasping now coming with kill instinct, survives that scuffle, and Sarah's goes down. I think it's absolutely worth it overall, as Splatzone Insomniacs will respond and also get their hands on that turret plating and eventually the top lane turret.
It's exactly capture for yourself. Sarazak gets caught out a bit, but that's enough for them to create space at the top side. Here comes the Hexer Ultimatum at the mid side. Here's entrance, might be a big one, does take out 1% in a knockup, and that goes Riven. Blue team's turret also has been destroyed, at least on the other side. But that's not enough. Cataclysm comes in. Galio is just going for his life, but Akali, he is here with the flank, really big. He might get this as well, and that is a double kill for the side of Divine One.
A smooth teep in the night. Divine One comes in with the perfect execution for that double kill. And now SDGR, Iblis, they're just throwing bodies overall, trying to actually take down the mid lane turret, but it wasn't really all too safe to do so because of where the Janna was located. The monsoon came just about in time, giving a little bit more safety net for Splatzone Sonics on the turret, as if they need even more of that safety, right? Now, a very big play happened, and Williams got ignited overall. He did save his flash. He didn't have to flash ignite. That's what a Bronzy would do. But, you know, I'm not going to complain. It does happen from time to time in pro play. It's not going to give me too much of a rough room for that. Gatsby now gets caught out, and Wadu's looking for that opening there to actually hop on top, but Saras goes out once again. So this is definitely a good trading coming from SDGR. Now they're working on that Rift Herald to get down low. 1/4 HP left available, but there's not really too much room for Evolution to march right into, steal it away again. Saffron now being locked in the Hex Ultimatum. Wadu trying to actually secure the kill on his beefy Alistair. There comes the Cataclysm. A little bit tattoo late. Fallen will go down. And now, that triple kill all being funneled to the hands of Splatzone Insomniacs.
That was really huge, and now this is Splatzone Insomniac's benefit and advantages that they can use into their advantage for the rest of the game. But Emotionless, he's gonna find Divine One, and this is just like a little meet and greet again once again, but the Tornado is gonna push him down. Emotionless, I don't think he can go for a Divine One. He does see the opportunity, goes directly in, and the Monsoon comes out as well just for a little help, but Divine One gets caught out, and that will be his end. Emotionless, he sees this as an opportunity to go in, and the Redemption jumps down as well as the Hero's Entrance, doesn't find anybody, and I think Iblis, they're gonna just back off at this current point.
Yeah, they just have to give this turret off, but they can still go in to clear off the wave, so it will stand tall. Splatzone Insomniacs managing to also go in with a little bit of a fair trading being done. Divine One just a little bit out of position. On this instant replay, and yep,
whoa,
I guess that's a little bit of a volume blast. Hopefully you guys are fine if you guys are on headphones, because we feel you exactly the same.
That was a very interesting replay indeed. We won't get to see it, but you know what, it's already etched in our minds. We remember exactly what happened, and that is going to be, you know, a team fight to remember. Now moving on to what is currently happening, we do see the Drake that's going to come out in 20 seconds, but that's not enough, because Wadu here, he sees an indication that goes in, he goes into stasis, but I think Zephyr, he is a cow that's on a mission, but Wadu just runs out of that position.
Yeah, you don't want to be a matador in that instance to pull up with a Raid Claw, so he's just gonna back away, right? overall, I think SDGR, they're holding up just about fine. It's a 3,000 in gold deficit, but nothing too much that could be, put into effect. One good turret takedown with the Rift Herald already being popped up. They should be able to actually secure that. Now they are also fighting for this great cure. And Splatzone Insomniacs, I think this is going to be a very good block. And that quick shot will be able to actually connect, exit elevated onto Sephiroth, and still the cow survives. Enter's not really necessary right there. Emotionless will be able to actually get the double kill for Fault.
Emotionless is really the one to watch. Look at him and look at how he goes. He knows exactly how to play around the ribbon, and he's going to secure the kills and not just regroup with the rest of his teammates. I think they know they want to get this Baron because Evolution is down. They don't have that Smite available, and they're just going to do it really fast. They have the Kai'Sa. They know they can shred it down. Linz here might be overstepping a little bit. If Sephiroth catches him off guard, he's just going to go up, and that's exactly what's going to happen. TP comes down as well. The red team will get the Baron Nashor. The fight is still going though.
Oh boy, here we go as they collapse on the drive rush. Everybody goes down. And Splatzone and Sonic actually get the pick. So the Baron buff does not mean a thing at all. Divine One, almost overstepping. You have to get away for minutes. And that minutes will actually slay him off. God, yes, B has got that all calculated. 900 IQ plays is what it is.
Minions, Minions is the way to go. Just let your minions take it down for you, and that's gonna secure him 3 kills out of that fight. Now, looks as though SDGR, Iblis, and Splatzone and Somnax, they're really evening it out. One person gets the objective, we're going to start the fight. We're going to make sure they don't get the buff as well for free, They want to make sure that a price is to be paid.
Yeah, and I guess that it is a little bit of a heavy prize overall. Now there's only like very few Baron buffs left, and that's gonna be over on the bottom laners. And we still have Fallen holding on to it. I guess that's very much decent, so they don't really lose everybody in terms of all those trades. Now, Splatzone Insomniacs, now it's gonna be a rate alert. That's why they're going for a pick. It's a 3 versus 1 though. How much can Emotionless do? He's trying to actually fend him off. Windslash not being able to actually get Linus. And I guess he bought enough time, but look at what's going on across the map. And that's what Emotionless wants to do. Buy time. Get the turrets down for the side of SDGR Iblis. And now they got everything going. Now it's only down to one inhibitor being opened up for the top side. And they're still trying to find another room, but Wadu is already here. Wadu now trying to go for the hunt. And I hope that he'll be able to actually make a play if he can actually shadow step in.
Yeah, I think that's exactly what Wadu wants to do. It's pretty hard right now, judging from the way that the map is being played, the presence that SDGR Ibis is establishing. Splatzone and Somnax, they're not doing too bad either, but they're not exactly creating the opportunities that they want to get, just so they can get ahead from the whole entire situation of this fight.
Yeah, Wadu overall, honestly, has been playing the best set I've ever seen so far. Only good comments for him, 7-1-5, but the rest of the members really have to play at a certain tempo. When it comes down to team fight, I think that they are actually doing pretty well themselves. Splatzone and Insomniacs so far, just needing that to actually hold on. While SDGR Iblis, they are just punishing them for every sort of move, but 16-16 at the moment. It's a lot of back and forth going on, and this is what we do expect coming in from the winner's bracket overall for this slot. And I want to see more. I don't care who goes down, because they definitely deserve to get themselves back in towards that top 4 position to get themselves for playoffs run, and hopefully, bring some good challenge to the likes of Berjaya Dragons, Geek Fam, RTZ, as well as SEM9.
Yep, I definitely agree to that. Right now, it looks as though no fight is gonna come on. They don't need to, because objectives, they're gonna be spawning right now. We have the Inferno Drake, we have the Baron coming in too. We might have a gentleman's handshake of seeing one person getting the Baron, one person getting the Inferno Drake, but I don't think that's gonna happen. Iblis, they have their eyes set on the prize, and Inferno Drake is already going down. Looks as though Splatzone and Somnax will be coming in. The hookshot Evolution goes through, but it doesn't get the steal. Looks, Hero's Entrance comes down, but I don't think it gets anybody else. Cataclysm, Ultimates everywhere. The whole fight is sprawled out. Exit Ultimatum gets down as well. And here goes Saras trying to kite for his life. Emotionless, he's coming in, as well as the cow. And I think that is the AD carry's demise. That is her going down. SDGR Iblis, they get this fight and they secure it. Evolution? Oh,
Whoa.
Evolution gets
Too
back
close.
just in time into safety, but that is Baron for Iblis.
Yeah, I love how quick SDGR calls the shot, and that hit by Pulveras has been able to bring down Sarah as well. Here comes Def Marquez going 1 versus 5. Are you for real, Wandu? But he's trying to survive. He flashes away, and that comes Evolution coming with TP as well. They want to kill them off before all these Baron Buff will be putting them down. Fallen now going over the wall. This is where he tries to get them circle flip off. Now with a little bit of scanner there, they won't be able to actually spot out Akali. What a big, massive team fight, and I love every single bit of it. This is grand finals worthy, ladies and gentlemen. And now, here comes the Guardian Angel that gives a lot more spacing for Emotionless to actually go real hard on the side of Splatzone.
Wadu really being a brave man there, just jumping in, creating that space for Evolution to just get the backline. That was very interesting to see. I love how that fight was so vertical too. You know, usually we see things that are going, you know, riverside, but that was just from the blue buff all the way to the Baron's pit. That fight took a whole entire area space.
Yeah, like, it definitely brings us across the map, or hopefully across the globe of Runeterra. So overall, you know, this whole fight between the two of them is sparking a brand new rivalry. Whoever gets this slot, when they go into a regular season, I hope both of them actually do, because this is top tier League of Legends Wildrift quality that we're seeing right here. Turret goes down, and SDGR Iblis, they still have a Baron buff intact. Fallen is the only one in charge, but here comes Divine One going in for the poke as well. He does have a little bit of passive pokes, and Sephiroth will be there just to guard him for the moment, while Emotionless tries to work his way with that sort of split. 1-3-1 formation being brought up. Emotionless also do hold that buff. That's why they give a little bit more priority to this ribbon.
Yeah, this is textbook rotations. You have the ribbon just gonna push it out, but there goes the clear. So Emotionless here is gonna have to find any other position and other openings that he can to just create space for the rest of his teammates. Here is God Gatsby with his support and the jungler. They're just gonna hold off to mid side. Looks as though Splatzone is doing a pretty good job defending any pushes coming through from Iblis though. So that's really commendable on their side. Wadu, he is the man to watch, and he's always the one creating the engages. He might be able to get a pick off here.
Yeah, and overall, looking at how the team has been coping, the defense was almost close to perfection as well for the likes of Splatzone and Sonics, but this is where it gets a little bit tricky. That fresh being set up, they don't really seem to be overstepping the line. Now with the ward, they do spot out Linus. So, very, very dicey situation for the likes of Splatzone and Sonics. We cannot count it out just about yet, as much as this is a 6,000 gold difference between the two of them. But you saw the way that they've been taking flights so aggressively, and they always know who to actually go on first. Oh, it seems like that will be a miss. And Williams almost getting a real good landing onto that Janet. But here comes another split push coming on, because Evolution, his role right now is to really shove the waves, and now they get a little bit more priority over on the Drake, and this is going to be Elder. Here comes the TP though, and Sephiroth's now coming in, getting all this information overviewed as SDGR Iblis. They will try to respond, but now looking for Emotionless as well.
Motionless here is gonna get caught out. Here's Entra's gonna come in and save and give the extra resistance. Woo. But Wadu at the back, Fall is trying to capture it up, but that's not enough. Saras is getting targeted by Emotionless. The Guardian Angel will proc out. Saras here goes down. That is the marksman, the DPS that you need taken off. Divine One, he gets taken off as well. And now Iblis, they have the upper hand. Wadu though, in the bush, he might be able to do something, and he goes for it, but that's not enough. Here comes the flag and drag is gonna drop on to Evolution. Evolution is just gonna go around for his life. He is the jungler though, so he has to stay alive. He wants to get the steal, but I don't think that's gonna be made possible. Iblis here, they're looking to lock him down.
He's the only member remaining. He needs to buy a little bit more time, and they're still going for the chase. Flag and Drag will be able to pop the GA, and they're still working on the Elder Drake flank. The junglers don't really care about that buff anymore, but they should be able to actually get that underway. SDGR Iblis now takes every major objective, only giving the Cloud Drake, and Now, with also the Baron buff being spawned up, there will be death timers now ticking off, and there's 3 members of Splatzone and Sonic to try to choose to respawn. They've already spot them all out, but there's no smite available. They have to just give this one away, as the Jarvan will be able to secure it for SDGR Iblis.
Yep, no jungler, no smite, meaning no Baron possibility, no Baron steal possibility over there. And Summit just has to respect that. And Iblis, they are taking objective after objective with 6 turrets, 3 dragons, and now with the Baron buff, I think this is just what they need to try to close the game. Sarah's here, he's really the one that's been bullied out of team fights most of the time. He gets jumped on, he gets locked on, and it's very difficult for him to just create any DPS for the team fight at all.
Yeah, and here comes the 1v1, Wadu versus Emotionless. Well, this is going to be the death mark there, popping not enough health bars, and the GA will still be intact. So, this is where it's concerning. Wadu has to recuperate. He does not really have anything. He's already blown the flash as well as Ignite, while rest of Iblis, they really want to close the game. They've already opened up the hit over mid, top side as well. Now, as they share Iblis, they run to look for the final fight. And that's where even the redemption will be able to actually pull in too much. Waves crashing in from mid as well as the top side of the map. Now, EBZ, they want to find a big pulverize up in the air. Hootsuit pops up, and now with the dive, this would just be a real bad fight. As Emotionless, he gets caught up for a tap in, but the Nexus goes down. SDGR Iblis is your first team to secure the slot to the playoffs.
SDGR Iblis, that was an amazing performance and commendable as well on the side of Splatzone and Somnites, but they just really proved why they are the ones to qualify, the first ones to qualify into the Group 1 winner bracket.
Wow. I felt like that was an ultra rapid fire mode, and yep, indeed, you are wearing the Earth Manatee hat, so that is absolutely fitting. So I enjoyed every bit of that match. I kind of wish we get a game tree overall, but Splatzone and Sonics, they definitely had a real good run overall. Now let's have a look at the stats, shall we? Because we saw so many win conditions, so many split pushes, so many fights that we lost count. But God Gatsby, look at him go. This Kaisa is just really running rapid across the map alongside with Fallen. Once again, a shining star, a prodigy in the jungle, and I'm excited to see how SDGR will perform in the playoffs. Splatzone and Sonic still has a chance, and you saw they were playing really well, but Saras, he did get caught up from time to time, and it was just very unfortunate. And this Wadu on the Zed, so impressive. This game just excites me.
Definitely. I really did not expect to see a Zed at all in any of these tournaments, but Wadu here, he really shows that, hey, I can take him to competitive play, and I just wish that they were able to go into a game 3 because I really want to see more of them. I want to see what else they have on their sleeves. Hopefully, they're able to qualify into the losers bracket and make it in to meet SDGR Iblis again in the future. Hopefully, we get to see that happening.
Yeah, as we look into how this whole progress of the game go, I guess there's too many glass cannons from the likes of Splatzone and Sonics, which, you know, you just really want to win that early game, and then after that, get all this sort of advantage that you can get to shut it down before it gets too late. But for the likes of the side of Iblis, we have already seen that they have a very well-balanced composition. They got tankiness, checked a lot of card control, and I just see that there's not many members of the likes of Splatzone and Sonics that can offer that crowd control other than Janna, as well as the Hextech Ultimate from Camille. But wow, explosive matches, that's what you should be expecting heading in towards the playoff season for the C Icon Series Malaysia. So Eliminate, you know, your first day here, how's it been?
It's been amazing. We got to see games that, you know, are completely standardized tournament picks. We got to see games who are completely out of the blue with the pocket picks coming in. And then we got to see games such as, you know, the one with the Irelia and the Ribbon. That was exciting as well. And then we have the Zed pull up. I really like what I'm seeing. It's really nice and happy for me to see all these Malaysia players coming in and injecting the little style of League of Legends gameplay into Wildrift. And basically, you know, I just can't wait to see what's going to happen coming into the next rounds and the next stages of this tournament.
That's right. We once again want to congratulate the side of ADGR Iblis. I hope I actually got that right. Sometimes I do confuse myself with all these letterings, but don't worry. We definitely will be seeing a whole lot more Iblis to come. And for those of you fans who are actually supporting the likes of Splatzone Insomniacs, that's where you guys don't really have to worry. There's still going to be more matches for tomorrow. So make sure you guys stay tuned because there will be the lower bracket run as well as more matches heading in towards Group 2 as well. So this actually concludes all the games that we do have. And there's so much to talk about, right? Like later on, we'll have more and more of all these new shining star of player to be coming out here to shine bright. And I think Iblis here definitely stand a chance to be at the very least a top 3 position team.
Yeah, definitely. And I think, that's one thing that we have to look out for. Hopefully, we can get to see them. And just take a look at the format right now. So this is the current standings of where we are at. SDGR Iblis, they're going to be the first ones to qualify in the loser bracket final of Group 1. We do see TODAK as Splatzone and Insomniacs are going to go head-to-head with each other and possibly qualify towards the top 4. So, I think we already know who you're rooting for. We have Splatzone and Insomniacs there. You really want to see them push over. But TODAK, I don't think they're gonna give over that qualifying spot so easily. So we're gonna see how they play and how they're gonna get back into the tournament. Other than that, we do have the loser bracket final, which is Assassin Academy, and it's gonna fight on either Silent Killer or Arctic Fox, but that's only gonna be determined tomorrow. So Contra, what do you have as the predictions for any of these fights?
Okay. I know TODAK as well as Splatzone and Insomniacs is really, really tough to predict. Either or, I'm fine with them actually qualifying, and TODAK definitely deserving that chance to actually go up there because last season they tried and they were only one step shy and they lost that game to Homie. You don't really want to lose to Splatzone and Insomniacs, so this is where they really have to put their A game on. Silent Killer versus Arctic Fox. I favor Arctic Fox, although Silent Killer definitely is another monstrosity of a team. So that is going to be an epic one to see who will be the one to get that opening slot for the second group that we do have over on the lower side. And last but not least, we also have Assassin's Academy really waiting on to see who drops from the upper brackets to face off for that very final remaining slot heading in towards the playoffs run. So make sure you guys stay put because over on the evening for tomorrow on a Monday, of course, right after work, you guys can always drop by an ESL Malaysia or ESL Asia to be tuning into more Wildrift action to come. So don't miss any of it because your favorite teams will be in action. So, Eliminate Manatee, would you like to actually lend us a few words, going on? And, tomorrow is going to be a big day for many of these teams. So, a lifeline coming in for Splatzone Insomniacs and lifeline coming for a few more. Who do you want to see marching through? Because you asked me for my prediction, it's only fair that you make your predictions too.
Okay, so at least for me, I think I have very similar opinions to you. I really did enjoy the performance of Splatzone and Insomniacs players, and hopefully they could get their revenge on SDGR Iblis. I think the match today, that was the one of the highlight matches that we got to see, head to head, really trying to out macro, out kill each other, and we can really see the fighting spirit, especially with the Zed Wadu over there. He really tried to make as much space as he could, even with the resources that he already was given. He was the one that was trying to create that space for the rest of the team. Other than that, I think Arctic Fox is one of the teams to watch out for. They played really well yesterday, and the one thing I want to say is that Assassin Academy, they are really the wild cards to watch. Now, with all of that being said, we are going into the end of the day. Thank you very much for watching the ESL Mobile Open presents League of Legends Wild Rift Fall Series. My name is Lemonade, and this is Contra. Goodbye.
And we'll be signing off. Take care and stay safe.
down, we will stand together. We fight forever. We fight forever. We fight forever. Standing together. We fight forever. Face the storm coming. Ground is shaking. Deep down inside, calling. Voices in the distance. We are here. We keep holding on. Towards the dawn.
Nice. Alright, go. Down first. Can. Alright, down already. Nexus. Alright, okay. Nice! Victory! I'll see you in the game. Alright guys, let's go on. Okay.
Lihat, tunggu Stewie. Boom! Wah, bakar bro! Pulapan lagi nyawa Nando dan into the infernal boundary. Solar Blade. Lu fokus pada seorang saja untuk matikan Bobo sudah jatuh. Engkol mega infernal bomb. Dia bisa melakukan. Tizi sekarang diperlahankan. Tizi akan menerima damage yang sangat ada kali Berjaya mendapatkan triple kill mencari yang keempat. Sekuasa kill.
Been a long way since day one. I came to hit but never run. I would take on anyone. I got a feeling that it's just begun. I got a feeling that it's just begun. I got a feeling that it's just begun. Hello, can you hear me? I think I'm still in I'm so sorry that I wasn't really there for me. Cause nobody else is showing any empathy. Rudely awake and quiet undertaking. Did I do something wrong? Life isn't easy. Why did you leave me here with my thoughts alone?